let's talk about walk etiquette. So
three steps behind for
so I learned
certain people
for respect.
So I learned this on Monday, and I'll tell you, my wife and my kids can be kind of awful about it too. So there's a way to go about it. You walk with a person. You walk side by side, and you stay cognizant of other people, and you bear to the right, and that's the way to walk. If there's 3 people, you can walk all side by side.
I do a triangle, bro.
But the most viable option is usually the triangle with 2 in the front, 1 in the back.
Yep.
Right.
So to speak.
I'm the back guy.
And also bear to the right.
We know, Joe.
And stay in sync with one another. Well, I don't think they do that in all parts of the world.
Well, the distance, too.
Because I took these 2 Irish boys, Special K and Andy, who I love them both. They're very funny. I took them to D.C. on Monday, and sometimes Special K was to my left, and then Andy would cut him off and circumvent him, and then I'd see like Special K just would adapt, and he'd end up on my right, or he'd end up in the triangle formation or whatever. They want to walk right in the middle. They love it. They can't get enough. But it is, and like it is, and I'm just messing with them. But like it is funny, like little cultural things, like they curse like like it's like loud and. Not to be edgy, just it's the way they talk.
Yeah, that doesn't even stand out to me.
And I noticed when we were on the train, like these old people moved, and like he was like, "Do people not curse?" Like all that, and I was like, it's funny. I'm not really cognizant of it.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Riding with you, I'm like, man, like they're cursing a lot, like loud. Like
It's going to be off-putting to some.
Yeah,
people.
to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's just like. Like it's like usually I'm a cursor, I'm like a sailor, but like if I'm like in a crowd of people and I don't know them or like I'm on the train, I'm not gonna be like this motherfucker, and then I'll be like and then
honest, it's just common courtesy we have here, and like the C word, for example. I spent some time with the king Pip Cheerio and all that, and he was talking about the C word and how it's just pretty much. I think he said he was talking about how he called his mom that. And like it's just such a tossed around word. It's like dummy or something to us. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like I don't know. It was just interesting. It's just interesting for me to see. But like they walk nuts. There's just I think it was more so Andy. I think the dude Special K was kind of like just adapting to the environment,
bobbing and weaving.
And he told me, Nick, he was like, I'm a clumsy fucker. Don't worry about me. And then he was like swerve in and out. Like he was like he walks like a drunk driver.
And he didn't even have any drinks in him.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into Nerd Weeks. And for those listening, there will be a Skullfest recap that'll be at the end of the episode because it can kind of, I think, come across a bit like a slideshow of your vacation.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, especially if you weren't there.
So
that's a great way to put it.
If you're interested in it, it'll be at the end.
And here's where Ronnie almost got bit by an alligator.
Chris, you got your coffee first. Joe, how was your Nerd Week?
I watched the last of the Fallen series so far. There's another one coming out, so I watched.
Oh, that's the where it has revenge.
What?
Revenge of the Fallen.
Revenge of the Fallen.
I've seen that one.
Or just Fallen with Denzel.
Yeah, I've seen that one too. There's a sequel to the
and Fallen with Alicia Keys.
Weird how they all say, "Oh, dude."
Yep. But more dumb fun times. It's good fun romp action movie if you want to just watch one with Gerard Butler, and it's I think a striker from
Cyberforce.
No, the bad guy in
Don't do
the
that,
Wolverine
Bobby.
in the Wolverine.
Yep.
Yeah,
that older guy. The younger guy or the older guy? Because
I think it's the older guy. I think he plays the exact same role in this movie. He's just like a military dude who's a bit older and up to no good.
Sounds about right.
Good at it. Perfect. I'll put Pizza John's in here, but we talked about that at the other.
Yeah, we will talk about it.
Yeah, we will talk about it.
And I binged, loved Death plus Robot.
I've got it on my list to watch this week.
It's good.
Is it the best one?
And I don't know if it's the best one because like maybe the best one by consistency. The whole thing it was nothing. None of it was really long, but they were all like strong.
Okay.
And it was a short amount of episodes.
Yeah.
Like season one was great because it was new and there was several really good ones, but there were like some weird ones. But this one, they were all very different and they were all very good.
Was it the different styles of animation?
Yeah, it was all different. They were
good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know if you're going to watch it, but... Like,
yeah, I didn't make it through the first one.
I watched the first. The second one...
I watched the first and second one.
The second one, there's one that's got Michael B. Jordan in it.
Yes, and it looks just like him.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, I thought this was supposed to all be animated because it's so fucking cool.
Right.
That was one. Yeah. That's one episode in here that's cool. Hyper realistic.
Yeah, that snuck in with everything going on this past week. It kind of snuck out on me. I didn't realize it had come.
Me either, because I don't think there was an announcement.
Yeah,
but it was really good. The first episode, I think, though I enjoyed the most, I think might be the weakest because it was the most standard. It was like it didn't go outside the box too much.
Yeah,
but the other ones are fucking great.
Nice.
And that's all I did, I think.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of our nerd weeks take place at the end of the show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, mine's let me see. I don't have a ton of notes here, but it was pretty short. But I just want to mention, like, I'm like happy kind of sort of with the way my collection display is set up at the moment. You guys got a chance to come by as well, as I'm sure we'll talk about. And
I'm like, this weekend is making me look forward to like finishing mine. Like I had a couple pieces left of module cases coming. Like I have one case already partially.
Do you have the most module cases of anybody in the world?
Flex. I might.
Yeah, definitely.
And look, dude, I mean, I've been getting good discounts from Brian, and sometimes I feel bad because he's like bending over backwards to send me shit. But like after hearing all the people that got fucking module cases over the weekend, I'm like, motherfucker owes me money.
I mentioned that. I think it was before you got here that I think anybody who has a module case, they should give, the owner should give you $20 because it's all, you're the one that brought that to the fucking table.
100%.
Like the community did not know that existed until you stumbled
I was
upon
like
it.
screaming from the rooftop about them, and like I've it actually sucks that I was the first adopter because their product is much better now.
Yeah.
Because I just got the newest generation, which is what Bobby has, and there's so many upgrades.
I'm just scrolling through some of my things.
Actually, Krista was like making some critiques on your display. Oh yeah. She was like, you need to pull those statues out a little bit further. You need to cut those fucking high glue strings. She was like looking.
Oh yeah.
So I'll let her know. I'll tell her to let you know what she thought.
Yeah, please.
Oh, and she said your turtles don't match.
What?
Your turtle shelves? I'm like, those are different lines. She's like, I know, that's a problem.
Yeah, I can't have those NECA ones, man. Not when the SHF exists.
I understand where you come from.
Yeah, I can't.
But for her as an audience, she's like, that's noticeable.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, she said those statues are like too far back. The Harley and Joker, she said you need to pull them up front more.
So it doesn't really work that way.
You tried it?
Yeah. So like that module case is now intended to be viewed sitting on the steps. Okay. It's only intended to be viewed one way.
All right.
That's not even on the bar stools?
Nope. On the steps. It's the only way to view it.
Okay.
And if you're not looking at it there, then you're not looking at the module case. You can look at pieces inside the module case. But if you want to take it all in,
okay. I was going to say, like,
usually
people get position. You should sit on the steps, and that's the only way.
I got to do that.
Yeah,
because usually people get up close to it and then they, squat down to look at the stuff on the bottom. Yeah. Or whatever.
I watched We Own the Night.
So did I,
and I think that's it.
That was fantastic.
It was so fucking good. Oh my god, I want more of this. I know there's not going to be, but
they cover the Freddie Gray riots and shit and all that. Like,
that's too much for me.
Yeah, but it's fantastic.
It was interesting how Bernthal's character basically gets a pass on all his past deeds because he, seemed to kind of be that dude when they were trying to do what they thought was right at the time.
And I mean, even when he gave that speech, and like you could tell, like the people that are trying to prosecute him are like, what the fuck? And then the guy that like they're interviewing is like I said, there's more than one version of him.
Exactly.
And it gave me the chills, but it shows something a little bit about like just how complicated people are, you know, that like
it's messy.
You know, it's just because you can be super shitty here doesn't mean that you're super shitty here, and or you could be kind of mid here, and you know, like it depends. Like you know, like you could be like there's plenty of great fathers that treat their wives like shit,
right?
You know, and you know, so it's like I like stuff like that. Just get something that's like
it was good.
It was good.
And I'm trying to think if I watched anything else of consequence. Nothing comes to mind. I mean, I was the busiest I have been from dusk till dawn probably since Thursday has been this past week. So, yeah, I'm just enjoying the sound of silence a little.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yep. I'm probably go sit in my basement for the rest of the week.
I watched a movie that I meant to talk about last week and didn't, and I talked to Joe a bit about it and a ride because it did have a It made an impact on me. So
did it make a deep?
No, but that did also make an impact on me for what it's worth. So the movie's called Coda. It's about a deaf family.
Did this the one that people want awards from?
Yes.
Okay.
And they deserve every single one of them.
Okay, great.
It's about a deaf family that has 2 kids. One of them is deaf and one of them can hear. The one that can hear is the only one that can hear in the entire family. And it just goes into like a lot of things about, you know, what makes family and how does family get defined. And, you know, she's like vastly different, obviously, than them, but is part of the family. And like, you know, she sings, but like they can't hear her sing. And like, she's having a recital and they're kind of like, do we even want to go? And, you know, because they can't hear shit. Like, it's like,
this is all done through sign language, right? Or, I mean, subtitled for you. Is that how it's presented?
Yeah, when the deaf folks are talking. But like, there's plenty of talking because like she's the main character.
Okay.
I mean, Dom will tell you about family.
Yeah. So I said
9 movies.
I said fan-fucking-tastic. And like after it was over, like my whole family watched it together, and it had a fucking emotional impact on the whole family. Like the baby like got up and like ran over to Laura and like just grabbed her and was like, "Don't leave me."
Aww.
And Laura was like, "You'll leave me before I leave you." And
oh,
you know, and all like, you know, and like Jesus. All this shit, like, but it wasn't a depressing movie. Like it was a feel good movie. You know, there's trials and tribulations, but they get through it. Yeah. You know, and it's like it's whatever. So like I wrote this in here because you know, there's been this thing with me about like family and what am I doing? And am I trying to chase this idea of family because I never had a proper one? And so one time on a walk, Joe and I took a walk and Joe was like, you know, you say this, he was like, but you have a family now. You have a wife and 3 kids. And this was years ago, 2019 to be specific. And I told him, I was like, yeah, but it's different. But it has stuck with me. Like that moment of conversation has stuck with me. And I've like chewed it up and spun it around in my head like a billion times. Like, why? Why is that different? And so I wrote here, I was like, family, I said, maybe I have it. I just always wanted one that would fight for me. But every family I've ever had, I've had to fight for. And nothing's changed in that way, right? So, like, I don't know. And I brought this up a bit on that other that opening ceremonies thing, but like it resounded. I even put it here. I was like, Joe told me it early, and I said maybe I've always just wanted someone to fight for me. Like, you know, like even when I was, you know, like a kid, like it seemed like, I mean, like, you know, it seemed like my mom was like, all right, I mean, when is her father going to come pick him up? And, you know, and then I would be at school waiting for somebody to come pick me up. And it just seemed like nobody, even though I know my dad wanted me, he's not good at expressing emotion. So it just seemed like nobody wanted me and like nobody wanted to fight for me. And like, I just wanted someplace to be.
Right.
And then now, like, as watching that, I was like, well, maybe it's not, maybe I just want somebody to be like, man, like I'm going to do whatever it takes to be with this dude, you know? So I don't know. It is. It had a resounding impact on me. It's giving me something to chew on.
And where is that available to watch, Bobby? Is it streaming anywhere?
Yeah, we watched it, I believe, on HBO.
Okay. I should have just said, is it on HBO?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure.
That's mostly what
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
I want to say I saw it on there, and it didn't. the name sounded familiar, but now that you said what it is, I'm like, yeah, that's the one that people were winning all the awards. So.
Yeah, and every one of them well deserved.
Nice.
So I want to move on to notes. There's literally only one note, and that is the Thor trailer.
Thor 4
Thor 4
444
Thor 4 and 7 years ago.
So there's gonna be 2 Thors and 2 Hammers now.
Yeah. Well, so I watched
2 Fast,
it.
2 Furious.
A lot of
2
love.
Thor,
There.
2 Hammer.
A lot of love.
He looks like, so here I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I've seen it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing you
I've
did.
seen stills.
Okay.
At least.
So
Clips on my
I don't know why I sounded like Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon there a little bit. Okay. But I think this Thor, like, it looks doofier than ever.
I think it does. You're talking about Thor proper.
Yeah, Thor proper.
I mean, it looks like the comic books.
Like, no. I don't mean aesthetically. I mean, like, wise Kraken.
Okay, yeah.
2
like,
plus
I don't
2
like the
equals
helmet.
2 plus 2 equals. I don't know, a 6. Like just that shit.
I mean, he does have his own font in the comic book sometimes when he's got the old English kind of font.
He has his own font.
Yeah,
but he doesn't talk like that in the MCU.
He doesn't talk. He talks like he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Ever since 3 specifically, he's like a fucking moron.
Himbo. People love himbos.
Yeah, I hate it.
I know.
I hate it. Especially for him. But
I mean, he was playing a himbo in Ghostbuster too.
100%. It's like the same character.
Yeah.
Christian Bale looks fucking amazing.
Think he'll save the movie for you?
I think it's possible.
It's Christian Bale. Come on.
Yeah, like whatever. He's morphed his body again.
Oh, this guy, man.
Like in the way that he like expresses himself and like certain like it's like scary. Like it's like gives me the EBGBs. Like
He's been acting since he was a child, so he better be good at it.
that dude's fucking something else, man. And that's kind of how I feel about it. Any takes on you? It's good to see Natalie Portman and him together again.
It's going to be a fun romp.
Yeah, you think so?
That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I'll enjoy it regardless of like the quality of the content.
Right.
The quality of the visuals be good enough to keep my fucking monkey brain engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling it's going to be very... I know Bobby didn't like the last Thor movie, but it's very bright and colorful.
Yes,
and
very.
It seems like they're
Very
gonna
primary
lean on
colors.
that
I just wonder when fucking Beta Ray Bill's coming, bro.
Yeah. But they had that little statue of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and then we'll move right on to questions.
Wow.
Hey, yo.
And there's a fair amount of them.
Oh, never mind. Actually, the questions have been taking more time than the majority of the show's time nowadays.
I was skimming through last week's episode. I was listening to some bits, and I was literally dead center, and I'm like, because it was a long episode, almost 3 hours. I'm like, we did an hour and a half of questions.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
So Michael P, he says, hey there, buds. Once you get all the wiping talk finished for good, I need to know this very important info.
It's never finished.
How do you wash your dick, balls, and ass? And do you have a different method if you know sex is on the horizon? And more importantly, if you know a nose and mouth are going to be anywhere near it. I'm very clean, thank you. Listen at that.
I use soap and a washcloth, and I don't know what else you want to know.
I don't use soap.
Okay.
I use shampoo for everything. Like I start with shampooing, right? And there's lots of suds and foam that goes all over my moist body.
I don't like this, Joe. Also, what shampoo?
Whatever Krista gets.
No, what is shampoo? I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, I was saying,
is that what those tubes are? Is that what those tubes are in the shower?
I completely you know what? I really completely didn't think about the fact that you guys don't use shampoo. Mm-hmm. Wow,
yeah.
That's one of the things that just slips by you.
I wash my face and head with the antibacterial soap, and I use some smelly stuff that my wife bought me that's for body wash that she likes, and that's.
Yeah, I mean, I am the
last.
meme guy. Like,
ass is last.
You see
then hands.
the meme of like guys only using shampoo that's made all of guys. If you see a like an outline of a dude and there's colored areas where it's washed, it's like the hair, the armpits, and the junk and the ass crack and everything else. If water falls on it, that's good. Right. That's also me.
Nice.
But I have foreskin, so I have to
get busy.
I have to pull it all the way back and get.
He once got busy in a Burger King bathroom with his force.
Nope.
It didn't.
I had to get under the rim of the head real good. I was cheese.
Yeah, take that get that anteater clean,
see, this
man.
I don't know. I do not know your ways.
You don't know any of my ways. But yeah, no. I mean, I'm hygienic. I keep clean all the time. Sure. I ever smell bad? I feel like I smell pretty fresh all the time.
Yeah, I've never noticed you smelling bad. I have to say this because I'm an honest person.
Yes.
So we have separate soap, my wife and I.
Okay,
let me say
that's pretty
important.
cool.
It's important. Like we
do too. Kelly got
do you get your own? Do you get your own?
No, we have shared
bath
before,
supplies,
but,
or does she get them for you?
She gets them for me.
Okay, same.
Okay.
Do you get your own bath?
It just depends. If I'm out and I need something, I may get it, or she may say, "Hey, I picked this up for you today."
We're never out. It's always I'm shitting in the bed.
So I pretty much take bar to skin.
What?
I'll be honest. I historically did that until I started using body wash.
Okay.
Then I use those puffs.
Bar to skin. Okay.
Bar to skin. I know you're not supposed to. I know it's a faux pas, but I'm the only one using it.
Bro, I did that for years.
And I take bar to skin. If I know, like, it's usually most of the time when I take a shower is in the morning, so I kind of give it the once over. If I take it in the evening, chances are the evening could escalate. So I do a thorough cleanse, if you will, just in case.
I mean, I'm never gonna, does anyone take baths?
Yeah,
I like baths, but rarely.
Only in the winter.
Okay,
yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
I like it. Do you even fit in a bathtub, bro?
Well, that's another problem. No, like we have we have a similar than what we have. But Bobby, by the way, bravo. It's the cleanest I've seen in the tub. Is that you?
Did anyone blow up the bathroom this weekend?
No, we had we had one clog on Sunday at like 10:30. Like we almost made it.
Because I walked in and there was a sign. I'm like, well, that's almost.
But it was all toilet paper.
Okay,
it was just
too much.
Some people go crazy.
Well, listen,
they just. Like, you know what I mean?
I forgot to mention,
yes,
Joe, your feet swing on my toilet. We beta tested your theory. They swing and you hate it? My big toilet in the basement? Okay. Just making sure.
It was tippy toe.
Yes.
I felt like a child.
It's great.
Give me a fucking... I'm going to bring my own squatty potty.
There you go. Bring it.
So Michael P. also wrote a second one and said, oh, good.
But the problem with bar to skin is, back when I did that, if you ever get a hair stuck in the bar, it lives there now.
Yep, that's true. It's true.
It doesn't seem hygienic. The next time you shake up a bar...
How would you know that?
So let me say this.
How would you know that?
When I shave.
I only take...
After you shave?
I only take bar to skin on that area.
Okay.
So
weird.
So the rest of it, I lube up my hands, and I just rub the lather from my hands over.
You don't
myself.
exfoliate
No, I mean it's exfoliating soap.
Oh, it's got the bits in it.
Yeah,
it's gritty.
Yeah,
gritty shit.
Yeah,
it's like body scrub soap.
Yeah,
like lava soap.
Yeah.
It's got pumice.
It's similar.
So now, I used bath puffs for a long time, and then I realized how gross they are.
Yeah, because they just hold on to shit.
So then, we just use washcloths.
So he double dipped and he said, I know I wrote you guys once already, but I just heard Joe say on the most recent podcast essentially that all fandoms are toxic and negative.
Yes.
While I agree that's mostly true, since the dawn of the internet, I've been involved in multiple fandoms of the things I've loved or collected. And by far, he says, the most negative community I've been involved in has been Transformers.
Wow.
Transformers fans are just miserable, insufferable pieces of shit for the most part, and I don't understand why. I've participated in the communities of the 80s, 90s wrestling figures, Garbage Pail Kids, BMX bikes. He goes on and on and on. Plenty. Serial killer shit, he says. He says drug shit, record collecting, World War II where the Nazis are. And still, Transformers fans are the fucking worst. Why them? I can't figure out what makes a Transformer toy collector more miserable than a Holocaust denier or a fucking giant rubber LGN black card wrestling figure collector, but they sure are. They sure are. And I'd rather argue with a crackhead on Facebook, again, anytime over arguing with whether or not the Metroplex guy told somebody in the forum to suck his dick. Then he puts in parentheses, he did say that, by the way, but he deleted it. Then I was insulted for turning it into a conspiracy. I've heard the G.I. Joe community is worse. No thanks.
Sounds like you might be on the board.
Yo, that's a great rant.
I mean, I don't listen, man. You're not wrong, but there are ways around that. There are communities out there that aren't bad.
There's a difference between fandoms and communities.
Yeah,
that's what you're
right.
Here, this is community, building community.
And I actually have a sit down Saturday on this very topic. And the sit down Saturday is called "We Are Not in the Same Fandom."
Yep.
Like we think we are.
That was a good one
because we all like Transformers, but we're not. The person that's exclusively doing flame toys and imaginary arts or XM statues of Transformers is not the same fan that I am. And I am not the same fan as the Chug collector.
That's got Chugs and T-Toffs.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he
specifically
pointed
not that.
and looked at Chris immediately.
That's true. I'm a mainline guy.
I think that one, like a lot of times with you, it's conscious. I think that was subconscious.
Yeah.
So, and that
you ain't Jared.
and that person is not the same type of fan that the Legends person is. So like we have all of these people and they all are operating or they're all swimming in the same pool, but they don't deserve to be, and they shouldn't
They don't belong in the same.
We did a collector critique recently of somebody that had nothing but XM Studios statues of Transformers, Bayverse stuff, G1 inspired stuff, and like I can appreciate all of that stuff. And I could probably sit down and have a great conversation with that person because I'm flexible that way, so to speak. But we're not in the same fandom. We're operating in a different fandom. We both appreciate the franchise, but we're not in the same fandom. And I think that's one of the problems that Star Wars people have. That fucking this, like there's some Star Wars people that are just into the animated stuff. They're just into the prequel stuff. They're just into the original trilogy stuff. Like whatever the case may be. Like so, you're the umbrella. You fit underneath the umbrella, but you should be in a different fucking slice of it. You know.
Yeah.
I think that's my personal opinion.
No, that's a great way to put it.
It's because franchises become so big, right? It becomes so broad
that
you can pick. I just like Rogue One. Nothing else, just Rogue One. I've heard those people before.
I've got all the hot toys from that. Both of them. Not counting Troopers. Actually, I don't have a K2SO, and I'm not going to get one because it's expensive.
Never say never. So James G writes in and says, "Hey, NRR crew, I'm actively working on a rapid fire. Life's been nuts since my position changed. Anyhow,
no pressure, bro.
How good? A little bit of pressure. How good are mail-aways when you're a kid? That was a fun story last week about Chris getting his Duke in the mail. I think I had like 2 a lifetime they mailed from whatever cereal promotion was out there. I just want to comment on that real quick. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to that, but I got the Emperor as a 3 3/4 mail away when I was a kid. And when I was a teenager, I got a few. I got like the Cantina Band 3 3/4 and the Ula with she came with some other figure, Muftak maybe, or was that a separate one? But they were like a couple mail away ones, like one of the Pushnikas.
I guess.
And I got they are like they do have a different charm.
They do. I can think. So Duke, I remember for some reason I wasn't interested in the fridge figure, which sounds strange to say, but you clipped your little points and sent them $5 and
that's weird. Like that doesn't exist anymore, does it?
I don't think so. In the digital age, it doesn't. But I remember specifically.
Now it's all exclusive.
Yeah. What's his Sergeant Slaughter? And I wasn't a huge wrestling fan back when I was a kid, so I knew him. I knew he was a wrestler, but I knew him from they did some commercials for this mail away before he was, I think, even in the show. And I waited, and they actually sent out like a postcard. Hey, chill the fuck out, it's coming. Because I can only imagine there's some old lady at Hasbro World Headquarters.
Right.
Where's my? And it finally came. I was so excited, and it's a super simple. It's the figure. He's got his baton, and I think that's all he comes with. But mine, he's got on the drill sergeant hat. And you know, all those hats have like a piece of like leather or plastic kind of runs below it in the back to help hold it on. That piece between the edge of the head and the strap, it wasn't painted, and I was like, "Oh no, paint apps, bastards!" I'm trying to think. So Transformers did some mail away stuff. The camshaft was one of them.
Oh yeah,
it's not Throttle.
Maybe the watch was the
watch was a send away, but there was these 3. It was it's not the Throttle bot. Somebody is screaming right now. It's anyways, I had the white car one, and I remember I ordered it with my points or whatever, and I took it to school, and it was
a red one, a white one, and a silver one.
I left it sitting on the table, and some dipshit kid, I actually know exactly who it is, did it, Lisa, broke it in half, like snapped it. Oh my God. Sorry, dude. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Then I never took another toy to school after that.
I got the Darkwing Duck gun from the mail away thing, and I bought.
Let's get
from when I was like collecting. Yes, I like that show. When I was collecting figures, collecting figures, I remember buying online some exclusive that only came with cereal. Like it was a Forge that didn't come normal. And they gave me the original packaging with just a cardboard with figures stuffed in it. And remember back when like choking hazards wasn't a thing, and there was toys just in the bag of cereal.
Yes,
that was fucking wild.
That was wild.
That would never happen now. But there was just like I remember opening a bag of cereal, reaching my hand to dig around to find a fucking toy.
I would pull the bag out and try to find it, so I didn't touch all the cereal. But.
No, like proper parents be like, no, you get to that toy when you get to it.
That's what it always was. So I would like shake the box upside down.
Or maybe that's why I started eating whole salad bowls with cereal.
That's where I'm just trying to get that shot. I do have a couple more.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the Real American Hero line, G.I. Joe, they did a Joseph R. Colton figure who was G.I. Joe.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And they did a 3 3/4 figure, and then they actually did a 12-inch figure. And it was a ridiculous amount of flag points, as they were called. Right. But guess what I had? And I was in high school. I was like done with collecting pretty much. I'm like, oh, well, let's go clip some flag. And I had, because for some reason I had kept every card back. I had all the boxes to everything still, even back then.
Wow.
Like I remember cutting like,
you
know how those bigger vehicles, like the boxes weren't actually printed. It was like a one color print on the white, like the bigger. So I actually had some that was like a piece of cardboard, and got those. And there was another one called the Super Soldier. They did. He had like a chrome helmet. He looked like the Mandalorian, that chrome shield, and I had that one. And the last one I remember is Kenner when they did the Predator, the clear Predator. Yes. It was a mail, and that was one of the last mailaways I remember getting.
Let me ask you a question. No deep dive, but what G.I. Joe character or Cobra, just something from the franchise, would you love for them to make in the classified line, but you doubt you'll ever see?
Doubt I'll ever see. So, I don't know what this guy. They've done some weird shit. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Shipwreck is like, I'm excited to get a Shipwreck at some point.
Yeah.
And based on some of the parts that you're seeing, like the rolled up sleeves, I think we'll get one. And you better come with a fucking parrot. Though.
Would you want a line of like real world versions of 6 scale, I guess, Hot Toys G.I. Joes? With like real people faces, not necessarily like modeled after someone, but like realistic faces.
Sideshow did a pretty decent set like 10 years ago that I was not looking at that stuff at all. I totally missed them. I don't know. I think the 6 inch to 12 scale really fits this line well because you can get the articulation
and the goofy ass accessories,
which I'll be honest with you, like it's like they did the Goof Troop stuff for like the first 2 waves with the Nerf guns, and now like I opened some this past couple weeks, and like the Roadblock comes with a fucking M60. It's actually they're getting more. Right. So whatever the thought process
they can have guns. Toys can have guns.
Yeah,
tell DC that shit.
Say it ain't so.
Don't tell DC that shit. Dude. But like it'd probably be. I always like the Techno Vipers. Okay. The ones that somehow they'd have words roll across their face of like, how are we going to do that? That would be cool to see.
That's a Daft Punk.
It is. It is now. Yeah, it's like you got that from the Techno Viper. What about you? Is there anything super obscure that you have in mind?
I would love to see that dude, the Wham Bam Pow.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh no,
like the Wham Bam Pows out. Yeah, like missiles. He's like Cobra guy. He had like missiles all over his body. Like
I thought you were talking about the tank guy.
I thought you were talking about Warpath.
He wore like goggles. It was like a black and red suit, and then like
scrap iron.
And then he had like he was a Cobra.
Yeah.
He had like missile pods on his shoulders. He had missile pods on his hips. He had, I think, one of them say missile pods on his arms. And he would be like,
"I must be obscure because it's not coming to mind."
If Pinker doesn't know it, holy shit!
Yeah, like
I guarantee you, if you showed me, I'd be like, "Oh, that guy."
So I know I ate a bunch.
And I want Serpentor, and I don't know if they're going to do Serpentor because
they'll do him.
I know I ate a bunch of fucking Cinnamon Toast Crunch last year for Cody because Pokemon cards came in it. If that counts.
Joe. With the World Eaters getting a codex by the end of the year.
Yeah, dude, they're getting their own fucking codex.
Agron is expected to get a new model alongside Motarian and Magnus. This is 40K for this, not initiated.
Demon Prince.
That makes it a 3 Demon Primarch and only Rebute Girly Man for the Imperium.
I'm mad about that.
What Loyalist Primarch should be next? It'll probably be Vulcan or Lionel, but in the tinfoil hat say Dorn is still out there. We know he's not. He's dead. Or even Korax.
Well, we got his hand. But there are. If you know me, you should. First of all, if you know me at all, you should already be able to guess. Second of all, there are Primarchs that are known to be out there in the lore that you don't have to like dig up dead ones or partially dead ones. I would love a Sanguinius because, like, with recent soft retcons, he's in stasis on Baal, just like Girly Man was. So he's definitely, I would love to have him. But
I would probably get him myself.
Right, yeah, if he came out, right. But I mean, I am either Blood Angels or Raven Guard myself because I'm emo, right? All black with they even have the flippy hair over the eye for the Raven Guards. So like, yeah, Korax is what I want because we know Korax is out there. The Khan, which you think I want because there's an Asian guy on a bike, he's out there. Shut up.
I'm sorry.
So I see.
I liked Akira. It was fine.
Yes, and we know Russ is out there. Like those three are for sure out there somewhere. Vulcan is definitely out there because he's an Eternal. He's undead.
I love that movie.
Vulcan or Eternal?
Eternal.
Yeah,
just the one though.
But anyway, that's my 40K. Yeah, but my topic would be Korax.
So, Chris, there's one for you as well.
Oh, snap.
As a master of the short bus power bomb, what is your least...
Hang on, who is this from?
What is a short bus power bomb? That sounds...
Who's this from? Because that's...
James G.
I don't know how he knows that, but okay, yes.
He knows everything.
He said, what is your least favorite spot in professional wrestling? I hate when 3 to 6 people are outside the ring and they do the high spot of the turnbuckle ropes ladder into the crowd of guys just to catch them, and then they fall and sell it like it was just the most devastating dive
like it was
ever.
A cannonball, yeah. So that's not... I'm going to tell you from my wrestling experience, I always hated taking a face bump, like falling flat on my fall. So, and everyone knew that I hated it. So... The way wrestling works is if it's a tag match, and Joe, you're my partner, Bobby's just had you in a headlock, and Bobby says to Joe, all right, tag, drop, toe hold. So he tell you, so you come over, you tag me, drop, toe hold. And I'd literally get in the ring and say, God damn it, and take the face bump as somebody tripped me because I hated it. As from a believability standpoint, I hate the slingshot, which is where if somebody's laying, like, I've got your legs, right, Joe? And then I'm going to lean back and have my knees bent. And that force, that pendulum is going to make you fly over. Yeah. I just think it's dumb. But what he's saying about the tope con hilo or the tope con leche or whatever off the top rope and knocking down, I mean, that's just, it's silly, but it's a chance for these guys to show off their gymnastics.
Yeah, like fucking
bravery, doing 7 to 80 splashes and shit. The awful part about it is when there's 7 people there and nobody catches the dude. And he or either he overshoots, or I've seen it where it's like, you've seen like people, I'm gonna crowd surf and you jump and like nobody catches.
Or out of nowhere an RKO.
Bro, they're scary. They come out of nowhere.
I can't believe you don't know this fucking Cobra guy. I'm still trying to find it.
We're gonna have to pause the show to find it.
Yeah, like I'm gonna pause it real quick. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I am gonna pause it real quick. And then he says, Bobby, I don't have we found a picture of him, we can't find his name. He says, Bobby, I don't have a question. I guess, do you like dark roast or light roast? You probably should have saved that for the 50 the rapid fire, but I prefer dark roast.
I do as well.
And he says, lastly, I was a leaner, but after weeks of NRR, I tried standing. I don't hate it, but now I'm confused as to which to do.
Listen, it's 2022. You can identify however you want.
That's
James.
true.
You can be fluid.
All right, Jake C.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So he says, let's say in 50 to 60 years after Chappelle has passed on, what do you think will happen? What do you think will have left the bigger cultural impact, Carlin or Chappelle?
For my generation, it's going to be Chappelle.
He doesn't say for your generation.
Well, I know. In general.
But 50 to 60 years, the previous generation won't be around anymore.
And we barely will.
Yeah.
If we are.
Yeah, true. Chappelle.
Yeah, I think
Chappelle,
so.
he's not to take anything away from Carlin, but the length, so to speak, of Chappelle's impact, I mean, it's even within his absence is probably 20 years of impact, you know, like, and so like, I don't think Carlin did that. And that's not to take anything away, from him, because he's one of them, you know, he's one of the greats, but, I don't know. Like, and you could make the argument for sure that without Carlin, would we even have Chappelle? And I think that's a valid argument to make.
Yeah.
But you could say the same thing, like without Run DMC or without Big Daddy. A perfect one is without Big Daddy Kane, would you have Hove? Mm-hmm. But Hove still had the bigger impact.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
I mean, listen,
Both great.
Everybody is where they are because someone else did it first. I mean, it's very rare for somebody to be the actual innovator of anything. Yeah. So you build on what was built before you.
Our next one is from Tim S. He says, "Good day, mates."
Blimey.
And he says, if Bobby is reading this, then his Fabio concert ended with no drama. This is my first time writing in and have been listening from around episode 100. I'm 38 and from Australia. The music I grew up on was a master Pammed. Oh, all No Limit Soldiers, Cash Money Records, and 3-6 Mafia. You're in good. Mostly
Worldwide
Project
Impact.
Pat and Lord Infamous. Mm-hmm. No Limit had me hooked so much that I had to have all the No Limit albums. And then after that, music over the years wasn't the same for me. Nothing could grab me until one day I came across King Von. And that was it.
Oh, man.
Drill took me. I started exploring New York drill.
Took me.
Yeah. I started exploring New York drill after that with Pop Smoke, but it was 22 G's and Chef G that actually pulled me in. Now all I listen to is New York drill music, dude.
Well, you know what it was. If you were a No Limit fan in the late '90s or 2000s, you were used to getting an album every week.
Yeah,
and that doesn't happen anymore.
Nothing else feels the same anymore if I don't hear or a gra gra in my songs. It makes me feel a certain way. I know I have a problem, but I can live with that.
Wow.
What are your top 5 drill artists? I think we both represent the woo, but let's keep them out of this question. This is my top 6. I didn't want to leave one out. Coach the Ghost, Moolah G's, E.Baby, Shaw EK, Blockwork, Yus G's.
What the fuck?
But I have many others. Oh, and I'm with Chris. I also stand.
Yes!
I just feel more comfortable that way. No one taught me. I taught myself. Thanks for giving me something to listen to other than drill. Remember, don't run, don't trip.
Hold on.
Get right, get left, or get straight.
Thank you, and I love that you love the music I love, and I'm glad you love the music you love,
and that Bobby loves,
and that Bobby loves, and Cody loves, and there's plenty of people, and it's awesome that he turned. I mean, did you take from that it's your fault that he found that, or is that
maybe
unrelated?
I don't know.
So my question is. Somebody had to teach you how to wipe your ass.
That's the question I asked when this first conversation came up. That I had to teach myself also.
Who taught you how to do that?
So my top 5 would probably be Pop is number 1. Number 2 is probably Coach the Ghost. Number 3 is Fabio. Number 4 is Bankroll Boona. And number 5 is it fluctuates. It's it really depends on what day you catch me. But if we're keeping it in New York, it would probably be this guy Tay Floss. He's worth checking out, but I think that he picks the best beats. I think his ear for production is just sharp as a tack, which is really what I care about mostly. With this subgenre is if the beat goes. If the beat goes, I'm usually in. But I could do this for the UK stuff, for the if I were doing it El Total. There's this Italian guy Rondo de Sosa that I love.
Italian drill.
Yeah, there's this guy Abracadabra from the UK that I love. So I mean, I could do it. I could deep dive on it. But all right, Andy C. He says, I sent in the question a few weeks ago. How old do you think your oldest and youngest listeners are? Yes. We know the old ladies are the oldest, but I'm probably the youngest. I'm going to be 14 next month.
Oh, shit.
I was laughing.
Where are your parents?
Right? I was laughing at Bobby about the snake question when he said the biggest snake he has seen in the wild is 2.5 feet. Because I live in West Virginia, we have a lot of snakes in the summer. I kill a lot of 4 to 6 foot long snakes, and not just the men, but the women and the children too. Andy.
So they're 13
So it's
not
a question, but that's crazy. Dude,
So how long have you been listening? How old were you when you started listening?
I know. I hope.
Dude, I see some wild shit on here, bro.
I know. I know. This is for mature audiences.
I would never say a lot of things I say to a 13-year-old, one-on-one.
Same. So this is next from Dave. He says, hey, gentlemen, in Bama's finest. You recently discussed people yelling and cheering at theaters at movie scenes like an Endgame or whatever. I'm currently living in Germany. I go to the movies on the German economy instead of the military base because the theaters on base aren't as nice. The base theater is cool because you pay $7 for an adult ticket, but the experience of the theater is lacking. both in seating and sound system. So I'll go to watch Marvel movies in original version in German theaters. The movies are always full opening weekend like you expect. The ratio is 90% Germans and 10% Americans. I was amazed how many Germans like watching American movies in English. These motherfuckers cheer fucking longer than Americans do at fucking everything.
Wow.
In the new Strange movie, they cheered at the one scene where they introduce a group of people. Every single person got a cheer, and the cheers just rolled into the next one. It was dumb. I couldn't hear them even introduce the next person. I personally don't mind the quick cheer during the movie because I get emotional, build up, and wanting to release for cool parts. It should be quick so as not to disturb others. These assholes cheer for like 30 to 40 seconds sometimes, which doesn't seem long until you live through it. Have Chris yell for 40 seconds. That shit is so long you have to gasp for air like twice. Not Bobby because he is the pinnacle of health after all. My wife is German and she cheered like an idiot. Me and her had some choice words afterwards on her movie critique or etiquette. Somehow I feel I lost the damn argument even though I know I'm right. Just wanted to let you know that other cultures do cheer the same or worse than we do. Thank you for that.
You're wrong because like that's their culture. So like you're in the wrong when you're over there.
Right.
But breaking news, Bobby. I have solved the mystery.
Okay.
The gentleman you are after is named Metalhead. Mm-hmm. He's a member.
Wow, look at that getup.
He is a member. I would say this website's pretty cool. I can spin the freaking figure.
Metalhead is very... I like his hair more than the helmet, though.
I need to read an excerpt from his bio card. Shout out to Larry Hama because he put a lot of jokes in here we didn't get as kids. The real targeting computer is upstairs in his brain, and it doesn't have an off switch. The guy is so wrapped up with his work that even when he sits down for dinner, he's preparing for battle. He tests his visual acquisition sensors by locking onto the mashed potatoes as they are passed from one end of the table to the other. He calculates wind deflection by observing how the steam rises off the meatloaf. He even measures the diameter of the green peas, seeing them as micro targets. If he looks you straight in the eye, you'll feel as if you have a bullseye on your forehead.
That's a really good bio.
So it's Metalhead from the Iron Grenadiers 1989 G.I. Joe line. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I'll be honest, you stumped me on that one, and that's hard to do.
Yeah. So this is from Caleb. Caleb says, just a quick, simple question for everyone. Have you ever looked up your celebrity birthday twin? Decided to look mine up out of boredom, and some of the notable names I share a birthday with are Lindsay Lohan, Margot Robbie, Bret Hart, and Larry David.
Wow.
Anyway, I know it's a boring question, but I couldn't think of anything else and didn't want to lose my status as a regular. I haven't.
I'm looking it up. Why don't we just
I never looked it up. I just know it's Eminem because somebody...
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So
it was like a random thing I found out that I didn't have to look up.
Well, this is interesting.
So like I'd have I do have a book upstairs of like about birthdays and signed stuff and all that kind of. But I have it. Doesn't matter. I have it. Let's get past it. But in there it does have like a list of like famous people, and so I know I've seen it. I just can't think of anything, and they're not great.
Yeah, there's five of a note for me. Emma Stone,
hot.
Ethan Hawke,
hot.
Yep. Sally Field,
hot.
Yep. Rebecca Romijn,
hot.
And Tandy Newton.
I don't even know who that is.
She's. Did you see? Did you see Westworld, the new Westworld at all?
Season 1.
Okay, she's the black chick.
Who is the key grip? Who?
Oh well, it's Frosted Flakes.
There's literally not one person I give a fuck about.
But like, what are the top ones that come up? Well, who's people you know who they are at least?
So it's only two, I think. Off, I probably heard the names. Now meet the man.
And you're December 30.
So it's Jason Momoa,
hot,
hot,
and China,
the wrestler,
the female, like China, that one name person,
Chyna,
hot question mark.
Yeah,
that's it.
Depends if you like your dangles.
That's it.
All right.
Esteban, hello everyone,
and
happy Kenobi week.
Yes.
So the new Star Wars show is coming, and I'm hyped, even though I know I shouldn't be with the track record these shows have had. But I can't help it. The 3 prequels are my favorite movies, and I'm feeling blind to anything that can go wrong.
Kindred spirit, man.
Like original trilogy dams are with Mandalorian. Do you guys feel anything at this point? Have you watched any of the press tour? In all honesty, I've been getting feelings just watching Hayden and Ewan be showered with love from people who grew up loving their films. Have an amazing week, everyone. Love, Esteban.
I have tried to keep it limited. I'll go back and watch a lot of that stuff later on. But like I saw the trailers, and I'm not going to watch. Well, what do we have? 3 days. I think it comes out.
I've seen the TV spots. I've seen the trailers. I've seen the teasers.
I mean, I haven't gone.
I don't care. I don't care. Like I'm gonna watch it. Obviously, I think it looks the best. Like of all the Star Wars stuff that they've shown, I think this looks the best. Yeah. I did have an emotional feeling when he sees Luke, imaginary flying the ship. I had an emotional response to that. I think that the Sith Lord that just looks like her name should be Amy pisses me off. And I know it's just an Inquisitor, but it pisses me off. I don't like normal Siths. I don't like Count Dooku, and I don't like this lady. Just Jane.
Only Siths deal
Jane
in
the Sith Lord.
They only deal in absolutes.
Yeah. I mean, the Empire was pretty normal up until the transformation.
What do you mean? Up until the transformation.
Palpatine was a normal dude. Very normal.
Oh, the Emperor was normal.
He was even more normal than Dooku. At least Dooku has some drip.
But I really only prefer him after it. As a Sith Lord anyway.
Like you can't blend in otherwise. You can't just be like...
We'll be watching your career with great interest.
I am the Senate. I've seen a meme recently. It was like the Tobey Maguire when he's like squinting, and you see something, and then he puts his glasses on, and it's like what it really is.
Yeah,
it was like this. It was like Tobey Maguire squinting, and it had like a picture of the U.S. Senate.
Yes,
and then the next one was him with glasses on. It had a picture of Palpatine.
Yes, there you go.
But yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I haven't watched any of the press run stuff. I have watched all of the promotional stuff, like the media stuff for it. I think I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't think it's going to be the end all be all for me.
Bobby's been hurt too many times,
dude. It's bad, man.
I'll be honest with you. This show, and I was talking to some people this weekend.
This could do to you. They have done
this. This may hold my fandom in its hand. I mean, honestly, this is like. Since episode 3, this is the Star Wars event I have been wanting to see, and now that it's here, I'm terrified.
So
I'm terrified, and
I wish you good luck.
Well, this came up several times. Talking to people in this weekend, it's if they don't change the key dynamic between Anakin and Obi-Wan, I'm probably going to be fine with it.
Right?
Is there going to be a big saber battle between the two? I'm going to be honest with you. It would probably be pretty dope, but I kind of don't want them to.
It's definitely going to happen.
I mean, I was telling somebody if
it's definitely going to.
If they told this story from Anakin's point of view and then Obi-Wan's, and then at some point they're like, bay doors open, ships pass, and they see each other, and there's a pause. I'm kind of getting chills thinking about it. That would be cool.
They're fighting.
I guess.
There's no way they wouldn't. There's too much money involved. Like they wouldn't have them not fight. The good news is it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't, because what he says,
when we last time we met, it was just to learn. Now I am the master. Like there's still room for growth.
So maybe he puts him in his place.
Feel a presence I haven't felt since that weird city planet in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah,
I think he says that.
It was kind of cyberpunkish.
I think he says that part.
I don't know. I'm just like, what do you think? I mean, I know Anakin at that point would absolutely hate Obi-Wan because he feels like but do you think in his solitude, do you think maybe part of him is like, I know I can't really change what I've done here, but now I see that he probably wasn't wrong about anything, and how he has to manage that complex emotion,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Because the thing is with Anakin is it's important for me, I think, as a fan, that Vader, once he goes full blown, and then of course once he's destroyed physically, that he doesn't really at that point he becomes zealot. He becomes a zealot, and he doesn't really ever question it again until he has to deal with Luke, and that's the only thing.
Yeah.
So
I guess you kind of see that in.
When he fought Ahsoka and shit, it's like
that, right. And then in the comic books, he was very tactile and strategic about everything. From what I remember on it, I didn't read the whole run or anything.
So I think for me, it's like if he does fight Obi-Wan again, it should be like fuck you, like no
questions,
no questions. Like you are
doubt.
dead to me. You know, like to me, that's important. Yeah. The same way he was with Ahsoka.
Exactly.
You know,
there should be no doubt
because it does play it. Like they all have to kind of view him that way of like, you know, the boy you train, gone he is. Like, you know, the man who I knew was killed.
Right.
You know, like all of that has to reign true still.
Do you think this is a linear story or will take place over a course of years? Kind of. I mean, because if it's six and done.
I'm gonna guess it's linear.
See, I would rather it show me.
I would rather,
and then show me like, and then like decades. 10 years later.
I would rather that, but with it only being 6 episodes and done, to me it seems like it's probably just.
Well, it's only if you think about it. I mean, if it's been 10 years, it's only like 8 more years, give or take, because 10 at the most before he's dead. So,
right.
Oh, it's sad to say that like that. Okay.
Yeah. Blaster wrote in. He said, "I'm here to sell you some rave equipment and funnel cakes." That's a callback to the opening ceremonies pod that you'll hear about here soon. He says, to everyone at home, pay the full $10 on Patreon to actually be cool, aside from understanding what the fuck I'm talking about or what any of this is in regards to. So there is a podcast on Patreon right now called Opening Ceremonies, and it is the strangest thing in the world. We're going to talk a little bit about it here towards the end of the show, but he has sent 3 clips in from it.
Oh, boy.
Quick clips.
All of them are a bunch of cucks.
Chris.
Okay, that's one. Here's one.
I think I'm having sex with 20-year-old sluts.
This is all without context. It gets even better with context. Here's one.
I'm here to buy
here for the drugs.
So I had an interesting revelation involving
that dude is a treasure.
He is. So I was standing here at I don't remember why I was down here in the basement and you were sitting on the couch and in front of you was facing the detox and in front of you was Chris and Gort and both sitting Indian style on the floor having a conversation, and I leaned over to somebody and I said, "Do you think Chris is just Gort born in West Virginia?" Or vice versa?
Yeah, could be. They both weigh about fucking 100 pounds soaking wet. All right, so every time I see Gord, and Vinny too, and I always want to say, hey, you're not getting fat, are you? So this is from John G. He says, "Hey guys, love the show. Question for the 3 of you. Let's say your mom and girlfriend, both in their primes, had a fight to the death. Who would win?" Oof. Also, if you haven't seen,
that's easy.
I don't have a girlfriend.
If you haven't seen Spotify's new Batman podcast, he recommends it.
Okay, my wife would definitely. There's no doubt in my mind.
My mom definitely.
My wife is jacked, bro.
Just the way she grew up. So,
well, I can tell you that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But
jacked and also trained to fight.
So my mom is a street bitch. And she's definitely going to beat my wife's ass. And that is maybe the only thing that she has up on my wife in her entire fucking existence. My wife, I don't think my wife has ever been in a physical conflict.
I don't think my mom has ever been in a physical conflict. Yeah. But you know.
My mom is
Kelly's from Atlanta, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. We can leave it there. So next is from Sean W. Dead Army guys and cheering in theaters. Hey, Nerd Ragers. Wishing you a happy Memorial Day. Did you ever get Memorial Day and Veterans Day confused when you were a kid, or was I the only idiot?
I still don't really know when is what.
So Memorial Day is a celebration or a remembrance of everybody that passed in a combat, I guess, or related to the military. It's veterans, right? Death of veterans in general.
When is it?
It's like the last Monday of May.
Yes, and Veterans Day is for anyone that served.
And that is in, I think
November?
It's the second Monday in November, because it's right after my, always like right after my
says, I must have wished my father a happy Memorial Day 4 years in a row, to which he would always respond, thank you, but wrong one.
I'm not dead yet.
So I never got those two confused, but what I do get confused to this day is Labor Day and Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Not what they mean,
yes,
but at what time of the year they exist. Like, I'm always like, fuck, which one is it? Is it Labor Day is in May?
It's both hot as fuck, possibly, when these happen.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes to cheering in a movie theater, I agree that there are appropriate times for it. Cheering every time a cameo shows up is a little much, but Thor arriving in Wakanda in Infinity War, the On Your Left scene in Endgame, the movie wants people to cheer for those scenes. Agreed. That's why that's why those scenes exist. I agree. I don't want to disappoint the movie. The movie's worked hard for these cheers. What kind of asshole would I be to deny its wishes? Keep out the great work. No, I agree. I mean, like we talked about during that thing, it's like a lot of times you could tell because there's like no dialogue built in for like 5 seconds afterwards to allow for that moment.
Like when The Rock showed up in Fast 5, man, the crowd went bananas. Both of them.
I got news for you. I think they would have celebrated if it was just a Rock because they're all giving about the same level of performance.
I can see how you do
Rock.
Yeah.
Paul C. Though I wish I could have spent more time with you guys this past weekend, I will count each of my Skullfest hours as a blessing. There's a reason that if I had to choose between TFCon, BotCon, or Skullfest, I would always choose Skullfest. It's like all of those conventions boil down to just the best parts of each of them. I know that we are a very lucky few that can have an experience like this, as not everyone knows a Bobby Skullface that will accommodate a bunch of sweaty nerds in their house. That got me thinking, what do you think is the viability of trade shows and conventions moving forward? Post-pandemic, companies have all been doing their own thing. Sony, Nintendo, Hasbro, Lego have all started their own events doing their own reveals. Even companies like XTB, Iron Factory, etc. have stopped revealing their upcoming projects via third-party panel. They just reveal them on their own. Once the pandemic is truly over and things go back to normal, will shows like E3 or SDCC ever come back to the formula and popularity they used to demand? Are those days gone forever? Love you all, Paul C.
It was great seeing you, Paul.
Yeah, bro.
Butter sends his regards. Is that why he likes Butters? So I think the litmus test for this will be that SDCCCCC is actually happening this year in a somewhat normal capacity. And there's like I think NECA just showed their box set that they're doing, and you know. You're right, though. I mean, I think a lot of companies have decided that we're going to touch as many people doing this as a virtual event than we are spending thousands of dollars. I mean, I was told by someone like Toy Fair, for example, where you don't make any money.
Yeah.
$25,000 for a small spot.
I mean, like,
to a point where the person you can probably figure this out pretty easy. They're not going to do Toy Fair anymore just because they don't think they need to.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, no one does anymore. Cause
it's like streaming services. People are like, I don't need to give you my content. I'll have my own content.
Exactly. It's like record labels.
Yeah.
Fucking third-party panel was dying before COVID. If you all remember.
Yeah. And you need like in all this stuff, like, you know, like, I don't know. It's like record labels, right? Like you need them to be a megastar, but you don't need them to be successful. The same with like these mainstream streaming services. Like you need them to have your show be mentioned with like whatever the fuck, Breaking Bad or Sopranos, but you don't need them to be successful.
Right.
I think it's the same thing. But there's a larger issue at hand with that stuff for me. And sometimes this stuff gets so jaded. I get bothered talking about it. Not to say that has anything to do with your question, Paul, but just in general, is that like I am not a COVID denier. I am not a open up the barbershops. I'm not that guy either. I am fully vaccinated, all of these things. In the same breath, let me give an example. A friend of mine just tested positive for COVID today, right? And they're getting ready to go to DEFCON 4. Like they're going to wrap their face in saran wrap and sit in an isolated room
through a straw
with their hands just in bleach for the next 7 days, right? And I was like, cool, I get it. Now let me ask you a question. What are your symptoms? Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. No itchy throat? No. Taste and smell stuff? Yes. No cough? No. Runny nose? No. So if you didn't know you had COVID, would you feel any way about it? No. So like the thing is like the thing is like if the group of people are saying we're going to believe the science, right? That was what everyone was yelling. Believe the science. Believe the science. Well, guess what? The science is telling us shit's weak now.
Yep.
Shit's weak.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
2 years ago it's different.
Correct. It's not the same. So like if COVID, so I know another person who had it recently, had a runny nose and a itchy throat, scratchy throat. That's a quote, scratchy. That was it.
I had COVID 2 weeks ago.
Correct.
I had a cough for 2 days.
So there you go. So in talking to them, I was like, if COVID didn't exist, if it never existed,
yeah,
if the unprecedented was in fact precedented, right? Would you think anything of it? And he's like, definitely not.
Yeah.
So it's like if that's the way it's headed, it may never leave. It may be around forever.
It's the same. It's the same as the flu. We treat the flu like the flu as we know. We don't treat the flu as the Spanish flu.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And now this, whatever this is like, it just seems like it's like
normal.
It's not worth. It's not worth shutting down your life for anymore.
Yeah. It's not. Certain people might still have bad times, but there are more rare cases now.
And there's still the same way there is with any other.
It's still killing people.
Like the regular,
it's still killing people.
For sure.
But I think it's truly
bees are killing people.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but bees have always been killing people. Nothing has changed.
And so have colds.
You're right.
But people need to take it by case basis. You got to know
AIDS was killing people until everybody started being a little bit more safe. And now,
but it's still killing
Magic
people.
Johnson paid for the cure.
Well, he did
still killing people. But
not everybody can afford it.
It's not. I understand. Yes, but you're right. We've got to figure out like
the balance
between keeping everybody's. I mean, Bobby, if somebody had said, "Hey, I tested positive. Is it cool if I come?" What would you have told them?
I would have said no. But guess why? Because other people that are scared to death of it would feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
But if
other people might be
okay,
more
what
affected.
if it's like, hey, Bobby, I'm going to swing by, not a group thing. I tested positive a couple days ago. I was going to plan on coming by. Are you cool with that?
No, because I can't have my kids go to school.
Okay, so here we go. That's exactly the same thing.
But it's all for the same paranoia.
I know.
Because I'm okay with being around someone with COVID. Mm-hmm. It doesn't bother me in the least.
And I hate to say this, but I'm sure you were this weekend. I mean,
probably
somebody. Yeah.
I would rather be around someone with COVID than I would like the flu.
Mm-hmm. At this point, yeah, you're right. Because I think we figured out how to manage
around
this
someone
COVID.
with COVID than someone with the cold.
Now, I had a cold a couple weeks ago, and it kicked my ass.
Your ass.
It kicked my ass. I was like a sniffly, mess.
So that's just where I'm at with it. Mm-hmm. But in the same breath, I want to reiterate when it was serious.
Yeah, we took it all.
I took it serious.
Yeah.
But now it's not.
And also,
I'm not taking it serious.
All had it in this table, right?
Yeah, we've all had it.
We're not the demographics that has to worry about it. That's why we're not as worried. If like I was immunocompromised or fucking old or something wrong with me, that's a different story.
Yeah,
but even the immunocompromised aren't at much as risk as they used to be.
No, but I would take more precaution. Just better safe than sorry. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which I understand when people are being reasonable. I understand.
Guys, I was talking about this weekend, and I could not remember how long did we record remotely. Was it 6 months?
Something
I was thinking it was
was it really that
long? It was a long time.
Well, it was March, April, May, June, July. Was it
Wycliffe, right? Wycliffe.
I can't remember.
He was gone until November.
Yeah, I was going to.
That shit
give a kiss to my mother. Well, I was telling somebody that the magic of this show is that we're all in the same room.
Yeah,
and that I mean. I think we were probably pretty close to at least taking a break, if not being done.
It was rough.
I mean, I dreaded getting on the computer.
It was not the same.
It wasn't the same. But here we are. So
then the next one is from Blaster. Also, no audio this time. He says, just got to take it as opening the floodgate since it had its spotlight during the opening ceremonies. Aside from the Zoom P8, what gear are you guys running in the studio? And what the fuck kind of trash mic was that? So I don't even know what that's called.
Probably that mic that we don't.
Wish.com.
Yeah, I don't know what these are.
They are
Hail?
Yeah, they're Hail. The mics are Hail. Where do you see that at?
Right here.
Oh no, that's that one. This is a one.
This is a Shure. I don't know.
It says Dynamic
Shure
SM57. Sorry about all this fucking noise.
Not even
that's obnoxious.
No, Bobby, it's called ASMR. It's not.
And then we run the mixer is a Zoom Pod Track P8.
P8, which
it's great.
It's a nice little boy. It works perfect for what we do. I think the audio sounds great. I got a couple compliments this weekend, and like we might have the best audio of any podcast that they listen to.
Nice. And we record on a MacBook Pro. And GarageBand with just the basic settings.
You got a little portable unit now too, right?
Yeah, the Zoom is like a P6 or whatever, but it's like a portable. But it records great. I've used it a couple times now. It records great.
So we can actually put 6 mics in this, right?
Yes. Well,
it looks like there's 6 plugs.
Yes, yes, and then you can also. Not to take a deep dive, but like this thing here, this BTA. If I unplug this, you can buy an extra thing that you can do a Bluetooth mic off of.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So the last one is from Luke, and he says, My name's Luke, and I'm from jolly old England. Oi, oi, what's all this then, etc.
Pip, pip, cheerio, and all that.
Found the podcast after finding Bobby's channel. The collector's critique kept me coming back. That's some funny shit. Yeah, since then, I've been going through the pods and have been having a blast. It's now in my regular rotation. Nice. I really dig the range of conversation in the community you have. So a big thanks to you guys for all you do. Really helps me get through my week. Really helps me out. Awesome. So here's a question.
I hope you left us a 5-star review. Then?
Yeah, leave a 5-star review. To all those people out there, please leave a 5-star review. And also, if you want to send a question,
you can email us at nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com.
I like that little.
Did you get an invite to Skullfest?
No, but I should have.
Just heard him.
No. Yeah. A couple weeks back, Bobby talked about getting thrown out of a strip club. As an ex-doorman bouncer in England, I have experience in this and was wondering, what is your best got my ass thrown out story? I think that might be the only time ever that I got thrown out. My buddy Shane, who said this basement's stupid, that guy, he got thrown out of a bar also in Fells Point. And what's funny is they threw him out. These bouncers, had him up under his arms and threw him out on his ass. He got right back up and went right back in the bar. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I left my hat. And he just reached in, grabbed his hat, and then rolled out.
I've been in a group that has gotten thrown out, but I've never been. It was because one of my friends was just completely, we needed to get thrown out. But I've never been thrown out by myself, but it was a group. And then we went to Taco Bell.
And thrown out there too?
We were sitting, my buddy had a Ford Contour. He's fucking the same blonde whore every night. No, never mind. Anyways, I remember eating Taco Bell, and one of our buddies was getting sick, and the guy in the middle was still eating his Taco Bell, had his chili cheese burrito, and he pushed the guy's head out the car door to throw up and just kept eating his burrito. It was such a fun night.
Joe, I recently got back into playing Magic the Gathering 2.
Yes.
Going to my first
Dominaire is coming out, bro.
Going to my first draft in about 15 years at my local store this Friday.
Do you have nose plug?
Stoked. Any advice? Nose plugs are obviously one.
Nose plugs. I don't do events. I don't do drafts just because I don't know, man. Are you looking to win? Because if you're looking to win, there are a lot of sites out there you need to be looking at the best cards to draft and the formulas. I've taken a look at those. They're legit. So if you're planning to do anything other than just hang out to play, then definitely look up some info. But yeah, also scope up the vibe of the store, man. They can get real fucking dank, and people get like the store I go to around here. The population in there is fucking pretty nice. But I've definitely been to stores where they're just fucking stereotypical neckbeard trolls that you don't want to have the conversation with.
Okay. Chris.
Yes, that's me.
Stand strong, brother.
Thank you. Stand with Standing Sanders.
At 6'8", it's the way to go.
Bro, high five, man.
I still prefer...
That's a really high five.
I'm going to say it every time. I still prefer I don't stand alone. It's still my favorite.
If you all high five, I couldn't even jump up to join you guys.
Hey, speaking of reviews, I've just noticed there's a website called Chartable where you can follow. That's where we oftentimes tell you that we're number 17 in Finland or something. But
we're top 5 somewhere.
You can look at reviews on here, and I didn't realize that. So we had a review last week from H to the Moon via Apple Podcasts. 5 stars. Thank you, H to the Moon. This podcast it's just like chilling with your boys. This podcast is just like sitting around chopping it up with your homeboys. This is one of those podcasts I look forward to each week. They cover a wide range of nerdy topics with no filter. Definitely recommend if you're into anything from Star Wars to Transformers to wrestling.
Hell yeah.
There you go. And we have several from this year, but yeah, if you listen,
we have more. Nice. I didn't.
Yeah, there's some from earlier this year. I don't know.
It really helps us out.
It does. I'm not sure. These are all pulled from Apple Podcasts. So if you leave it on Podbean or something, we might not see it, but yeah, let us know if you leave us a 5-star review.
And then he says, all the best. And then he says, P.S. Could I get a from the tidy email lady too, please? So as your luck, we did give it at the top, but I'll give you one more on the way out. Okay. And then that does it on questions. So now we're going to go into our Skullfest recap. These are all the events since it started, which include the drill concert and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, here it goes. So we did have Skullfest over this past week, and
Oh no! What was that? Was that a snake?
Yo,
what was that?
Definitely just fapping.
I went to finger bang the board and it was wrong.
Yeah,
it sounded like a finger bang.
I'm on the drill pads.
Why is it fucking juicy noises for drill?
Stabbing.
Oh. Did this not sound like? I did not think about stabbing.
Yeah.
Well, I know about stabbing, a different kind of stabbing.
Right. So, and like I'm like hesitant sometimes. I just want to get this out there, like to talk about it a lot beforehand, because like I know a lot of people want to come, and I want to have as many people out as possible, but like I can only do so much. It's very packed in here, or as it is, and it is hot as hell. And
Saturday was,
and it's very like it's a very expensive endeavor.
Oh yeah,
like it costs a ton of money, and that's not really an issue. I just hate making people feel like they're left out, because I want to invite so many more, and there's a chance that you're on my radar and don't know it, but it's like, if tell your peers to RSVP a little quicker, and then we can get to the bottom of it, because that's another thing, like people backing out last minute. Like I don't really care, but like it does impact the guest list, because there are people that would like to come. You know what I mean? I think there's still people that didn't RSVP. Ultimately,
I didn't.
Well, but I already knew.
I was able to get a ride, so I came.
Right.
Which, it wasn't my normal ride, but I did get a ride.
Right. So Tuesday, I'm going to start on Tuesdays. Tuesday, I picked up Cody. From the airport and brought him back here, and it was pretty much like have a couple drinks and go to bed. Wednesday,
Wednesday we recorded it's last Wednesday.
Wednesday we did Nerve Rage
around a very busy schedule.
Yeah, so Wednesday night, I went to a drill concert.
Yeah.
And I saw Fabio Foreign, and he had an opening act, Dream Doll, and some other guy. I missed the first guy.
Hey, hang on. What was that name? Dream Doll?
Yeah.
This is a
female. And
drill?
No. And just a female rapper.
Okay.
And she was so like I'm not really into her music. I'm aware of who she is. She was wearing basically like a bodysuit with fishnets underneath. Mm-hmm. And when we get there, Cody was like, "Oh, I see the allure." She was built like a goddamn Lipizzan. So
you went somewhere that in the morning too, didn't you? Before we recorded.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't record in the morning.
Yeah. What did we do?
We went to the fancy mall.
Oh yeah, you went to Tyson's.
Oh, that's right. We went to Tyson's. Yeah, that's her.
I don't think she was wearing sprinkles.
So, I want to talk about that drill concert a good bit. So, Gamez met us there.
Yeah.
Now this was at
the Fillmore in Silver Spring, Montgomery County.
I've
It's a nice spot.
Well, yes, I'm glad it is, because I passed up on concerts before just because I didn't know if it was a decent.
Right.
You had told me it was, but seeing your pictures and stuff.
It's a good spot. So we were in line forever.
So there was no it was just buy at the door tickets?
No.
You had tickets.
I had tickets,
and you
we were still
wait.
in line forever.
Jesus.
So you can buy the express ticket where you don't have to wait in line. It's like the Lightning Pass at Disney World, but to see drill artists.
You can ride cars as many times as you want.
So metal detectors and shit.
It's funny you asked, Joe. So there was these kids behind me, and they talked to like one of the line ushers. Like they were like, "We've been to 3 shows here in the last 2 months and have never had to wait this long to get into this event." And they were like, "There are a lot of security measures in place tonight."
Fair.
So like we got basically like emptied our pockets and wanded twice.
Wow.
Before we got in the door.
Not just going through the motion. Sometimes they just like...
Yeah.
Did they let you take your...
They just wave it at you.
I saw... So funny story.
Or did you leave it in the car?
Left it at home by accident.
By accident, but probably not horrible that you did.
So what's interesting is, as a side note, I left it at home by accident when I went to this drill concert, my vape, and I left it at home by accident when I went to Baltimore to take, which we're going to get to in a minute. But I feel like there's things at work, Joe, and I feel like my subconscious is like trying to show me
you don't need it.
You don't need it, and I didn't sweat it at all either time.
Because I know, like when.
So I'm in the process of trying to edge it out.
Nice. Hey, I don't know if we have any.
Yeah.
Well, you were looking for it for half an hour.
Well, that was the thing I was going to compare it to. So I remember when we got here on Wednesday, you were in somewhat of a panic trying to find it.
Yep. And then that same day, I forgot
you left it again.
I left it again.
I don't know.
You know, it's like I keep
you just don't need it anymore, man.
I keep leaving it places without,
chew on some straws or something.
That's going to make a very nice diorama piece.
Yeah, man. You could. That definitely looks like
a side thing in Star Wars.
It's a moisture vaporizer.
Yeah, moisture vapor. You can press the button.
Yes. Perfect.
So I'm trying to think about funny things that happened during the show.
I had asked you last week what your guess on the demographics would be. So why don't you?
So I would say it was probably 80% street guys.
Really?
Yep. 10% white nerdy guys. Like. I mean, I'm talking about I can't wait. Like it's gonna. I hope he does Big Drip. It's one of my favorites. I mean, like that level of nerd, And then there was 10% of mixed demographics racially that you could tell were just into the music. Like that's what the pocket that I would be in. That were just like fans of the genre.
Was there a full handful of Asians or no?
No, I didn't see a single one.
Damn.
How full to capacity?
I would say it was 80% full.
80%. Okay. That's what I was going to guess.
I got in, and Gomez spotted immediately. He was like, there's goons in that back corner. And I looked, and I was like, oh, for sure. So
were they like artist accompanying goons?
So they looked like just audience members.
Okay.
But they looked like they were certainly up to no good.
Gotcha.
And they were hanging out in this back corner. I was like, cool. So he got a drink. We all chill. And then throughout the show, they stayed in this corner, but like groups of 3 of them or so would like wander through.
How many guys was this?
It's probably like 10, 15 guys.
A lot of people.
And like groups of 3 would like weave through the show. And I was like, man, what are they doing?
Are they pickpocketing?
Like, are they running pockets or like, you know what I mean? What is going on? And, so I just kept my eye on them like the whole time. And they definitely like, it was just immediately recognizable if you have any sort of like spider sense that they had a different vibe about them. So I just noticed it the whole night. At the end, he does like his big song and they're all on stage with him. And I was like, fuck, it's his security.
It's his guys.
They're trying to make sure that the room is safe for him.
Good.
Yeah, and it was smart. So that there was 2 cops on stage at each corner of the stage. And
what county is this in?
Montgomery County.
Okay.
And one of them, like the dude Fabio is a funny motherfucker, like which I didn't know. But one of the cops, like this, like very like clean cut white guy, like he like started cracking up like a bunch of times during it, like he couldn't. So at one point, Fabio was like, "Who wants to dance?" And he brought all these girls on stage to like twerk, basically. And they're getting busy and all that. And then at the end of it, he's like, all right, you guys, you got to go back to the audience. And like 7 out of 10 of them, or 7 out of 9 of them left the stage the same way they came on, which is like human nature when you're unfamiliar with something. But the other 2 tried to go like the opposite way, thinking that they were mirrored on stage.
Yeah.
But the opposite way actually leads to the green room. And Fabio was like, whoa, don't go that way. And then he looked at the audience and he was like, you might never come back. The crowd, started laughing, but the cop is fucking laughing. Like the whole, he has like a viral TikTok dance right now.
Okay.
That people have created, and, he said, does anybody know it? You can get up on stage and do it. So like 10 people got up on stage and were doing it. And then the finalist was like this young kid. I say young kid, he's probably 19, 20 years old. And this like sexy female. And this young kid was so fucking good. Like Fabio didn't even pay any attention to this female. He was like, look at this kid. Like he's like putting his arm around, like, cause he was killing it.
That's awesome.
So that was cool. When he did like the big song, like his big song, first of all, his set list was impeccable. Like if you're a Fabio fan at all, like he did everything you'd want him to do and nothing that you wouldn't want him to do or wouldn't expect him to do. Like there's some of his songs I'm not crazy about, but I understand it's an expectation that it'll be performed.
How many albums does he have? Or is he more of a mixtape guy?
He has 2 EPs and 1 album, and then he's on a ton of features. He's on Kanye's album. He's on, he's on a ton of features. So he did everything you'd expect him to do.
And I'm curious because I've seen it so many different ways. Did he have a DJ? Did he have backing tracks, or was he rapping over his fucking record?
He had a DJ and he had a backup track, a TV track, as they call it.
All right. So basically, that's just the hooks have backing vocals for the most part, and maybe some ad-libs
and stuff, and maybe a line here and there.
Because I went to see It was 50 Cent back when, like, first album, 50 Cent. It was supposed to be 50 Cent in the clips, but the clips didn't come for whatever reason. So the Nashville Municipal Auditorium, and they just fucking rapped over the album.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cool vibe still, but it's like...
And some of them are heavier on the ad-libs. I mean, drill music is just that way, right? So it might have annoyed you, to be fair, to be honest.
I'm sure that wouldn't have been the thing that annoyed me. That's okay.
But I'll tell you, like, when he did, like, the big song, the song called Big Drip, it's like, he has songs with Pop Smoke. He has songs with King Von, both of which have passed on. And, and it was like, he's like, put two fingers in the air for Pop Smoke. And, like, people were like, they're all, you can't be a fan of one and not the other. Like, so that was good energy in the room. And then at the end, when he did this Big Drip, like, I mean, everybody was like singing along. Like, I haven't felt so like symbiotic with a crowd since 9 Inch Nails. Like, nice. Everybody was in tune. Like,
that's a great feeling. Like when I go to wrestling shows and everybody's chanting something or singing along. It's definitely something I missed during the pandemic, was that, energy of a big crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
sorry, Joe.
And I didn't have
like,
Joe's
I'm like cringing up.
No,
I thinking about it.
You sit on my shoulders, bro.
I obviously didn't have a sip of alcohol, because I don't play that drinking and driving shit at all.
No, like, no doubt.
If I have one sip, here's my keys. I'm done. We figured out.
Am I going to drive you on the wrong side of the road, Bobby?
I don't play that shit. So,
good.
So I was sober as a judge, and I also wanted to be sober anyway, just to keep my head on a swivel, just because I didn't know what the energy was like, and there was definitely street guys in there. And anyway,
no like shenanigans you saw. Everybody was there just having a good time.
Not a single one. Everyone awesome. Was there for the music.
That's awesome. I'm surprised you didn't. I honestly, Bobby, I'm surprised you didn't have these elaborate, deep conversations about life and music with some of these people, like the nerdy people, especially.
Well, they were too nerdy for me. Really? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I mean, like they were like,
oh my god,
index finger pushing their glasses up
on forums.
Like like they study it, and like not just drill, but kind of music in general today. Like I heard them talking behind me, and they're like, so and so has a new album coming out. I heard the single for it. He was on, and they would name like some random radio show. They're like, oh yeah, so and so's radio show. Yeah, we heard that. Yeah. No, the songs are getting better, and the structure is like the way that they're talking. It was very bizarre to hear. So then came back. That was it. Thursday,
road trip.
Thursday we did the road trip.
That's some good pizza.
So we went to Pizza John's, which we've talked about on here.
It was good.
It was good.
After the first bite, we both were like, yeah, this is a good pizza.
It's good pizza.
Where exactly is that?
It's in Essex.
Bel Air?
That's where,
that's
where Cody lives.
Yeah, but the Maryland version. So here's my proper review that I said, because it's like a Maryland thing. I just never had it. I said, so here's my review. It's very good. Maybe a little too heavy on the cheese. The sauce is the standout positive. I quite enjoy it. If I was ever in Essex, I wouldn't leave without grabbing a slice. But outside of having the initial experience, I wouldn't travel to Essex just for a slice.
Yeah, because it's like 45 minutes
long.
An hour.
It's a long distance.
But yeah, I don't think it was too much cheese. But like
like I said, maybe too much. Maybe a little heavy.
Because I like a lot of extra cheese. Some people
like I feel like that was an extra cheese pizza.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But I would order it.
But that's what I'm saying. For a standard cheese pizza, it was a little heavy on it.
The pizza by itself was so good because we ordered a half and half. And we ordered the cheese pizza just to get
baseline.
The baseline pizza, and then we got pepperoni on that side because it's standard. The base pizza was so good. I'm like, I wish I just had no pepperoni.
I know.
Just wanted a regular ass pizza.
Me too.
And that's rare for because I'm a toppings kind of guy.
Yeah.
That was fucking good.
Yeah.
And I got the dessert I ate afterwards. It was good.
Did you guys bring it back and warm up in the air fryer?
No,
it's fresh pizza, bro.
We did go to this retro video game store.
Yes.
It had everything. I mean, like,
dude,
everything.
I flashed back into my childhood there. Like
Really?
Like I had feelings I didn't know what they were.
Feelings.
I was feeling something. I can't put my finger on it, but I was like,
the Peter tingle. Is that what it was?
No.
I don't think
so gross to say that.
I mean, they have like Game Boy in original boxes, but the boxes were mint.
That's
so
great.
like it's like you, as a 10-year-old, you would walk in the store and see that box, and like I became a 10-year-old again. They have things I forgot about: the Jaguar, the 3DO,
The Jaguar,
the 3DO. They had fucking everything.
So, it's funny. My only My memories of like those games and like the Neo Geo was like they were in the Game Pro magazine, and it seems like wasn't the Neo Geo like $600 or something?
So we talked a bit about that.
And it's like
that was a special.
I never knew anybody who had one.
Yeah, that was it. It was like the legend of Neo Geo.
I knew people who had a Jaguar.
I don't even think I'd heard of
it was
that.
in Atari's
I had a TurboGrafx 16, which was a rare system.
See,
also.
that was what was the main game that was
that bald dude, right? Was it?
Bonk.
Yeah.
It was way ahead of time. It came with memory cards, basically the games, and you can also plug it into the exact same game into their handheld, which was like a giant black Game Boy.
I remember that.
Colored.
I remember it. That was super
like
expensive
NEC,
too.
yeah, because it was like better than the Game Gear, because the Game Gear was the good one at the time.
That was the Genesis one.
That
right?
was the Sega one. Yeah,
with color screen.
Yeah.
With a 6 battery that lasts you about 5 minutes.
Right. Well, the real trick is just a standard Game Boy with the magnifier and the handles and the light that it's not
the speakers
backlit,
on the bottom,
backlit over, and the speakers plugged in.
And
by the time you get done, it's the size of a pizza box and it weighs 45 pounds.
It's a combiner.
Dude. It's the combiner wars.
Because the lights and the screen folds out. Remember, it can be more.
I watched a video of a guy like getting ready to play Game Boy, and it was like a 35-second video of him putting all this stuff on, and the lights folding down and opening it up. Yeah,
but we saw while we were there the Gyromite robot. Are you familiar?
Dude.
Yeah, Burger. So with Burger Time, is that the game?
It was with Gyromite.
It was just Gyromite. It's not burgers. It's gyro.
So apparently. I had Gyromite.
I never actually seen one operate.
So my Nintendo came with Gyromite and Duck Hunt.
He didn't get Mario.
Oh man, you were that one kid that didn't have Mario.
Yep,
that's where it all started with Bobby. That's where all downhill from there.
I want to give Bobby a hug now
because Mario Brothers had come out, and that was the thing to get. So the Gyromite version of Nintendo, which was like the predecessor, was like 50% off.
Shelf warmer.
So that's what I got. You know, and it's funny. This is a side story, and sometimes I say I want to talk about this here in a second, but like, a buddy of mine. Like his mom said he could have Nintendo when he could spell it. Like I'll never.
Wow, that's awesome.
But yeah, it was like this guy that pulled radishes out of the ground, and there was like these pistons. It was kind of like a puzzle game, and you could control the pistons, and you could put the game controller player 2 in the robot's hands, and the robot could play it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know?
I never.
All I have in my head is
that's really
like
cool.
Moving some shit around.
That sounds like that's the one you want instead of Mario.
It's not.
I know,
but then there's Mario.
It's definitely not. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Cool. And then we went to the pizza place. Then we came back. Then you guys continued to go out. But I had.
Well, you skipped the best part of your trip. You guys came to the Crashbox compound.
Oh yeah, and hung out. And we overstayed.
That's why we couldn't hit some of the spots because we were like having too good of a time.
Sorry, guys.
I was talking anime with the family, and then Cody.
Yeah, you sure were.
It was also funny, like
Bobby talked while y'all talked about anime.
Kelly came up and gave me a hug. Like, I'm so sorry about your childhood because I guess I mentioned it on some Nerd Rage thing or something.
No, it was the diary.
Oh, okay. Right.
She's like, oh, listen to Nerd Rage. She told me about it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it is interesting. Like, you don't realize, you know, like, I guess when you're desensitized to something, how shocking it can be for someone else to hear. It was like, I don't know. I really appreciated it. And you know, got to see. I haven't seen your like setup.
The brand new version,
the basement.
Yeah, and it looks good.
Thank you.
It looks good.
I now have you're gonna have to get that button ready in the middle there because now my collection, and I never thought I'd be this guy in a million years. I have Chugs and Detolfs, y'all. And it actually looks really good.
That's where they belong, Chugs and Detolfs.
Well, with they have Crashbox dioramas.
No, they
adds a little something.
Yeah, no, I was fucking with them. They look good. The new Chug stuff with the armor, fucking Ultra Magnus. They look. You know?
Yeah, I mean that Ultra Magnus, truth be told, is like 3 years old.
They're that Detolf shelf. It's better than a lot of the third.
Dude, I caught you looking at it a long time. Huh? I saw you looking at it for a long time. Just the way, but I actually after you guys, I've got them both filled up. With stuff. So,
but yeah, it was cool to see what you had done down there. It looks good. Looks sharp.
And,
work in progress.
The gaming computer. Nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk your wife into getting that virtual 3D harness so I can also come over and play.
No one screensaver was fucking me up.
Dude. Oh, yeah. They all move. It's only, dude, like one set of diorama will get you the money for that fucking that setup.
I'll tell her. Joe wants to come play with her.
And then you guys went out. I had to come back here
because you were supposed to be here
I
by
had people.
4. It was we passed by here by 3. I'm like, and you're like,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. And it didn't.
I mean, we would have rushed to get you back, but I didn't want to rush Cody. That's the thing. I wouldn't give him all the time in the world.
And Troy was already here. You know,
by 3 o'clock.
I think, yeah. Because I told him no later than.
No, I thought that was Tuesday or Friday.
Oh, it was Friday. You're right.
Yeah, Thursday. So we got back at like 5:30 or some shit like that, and like close to 6 because I was supposed to stream at 5. Ricky was here. I remember that.
That's right. Ricky and them showed up, and then we had Melanessa here. Like chicken melanessa. It's like an Argentinian.
I was thinking that sounds like a dish. I'm like,
I'm thinking, who is that? I didn't eat them.
You know, and there was a couple folks here.
It sounds like the fanciest thing you eat.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a fancy way for Argentinians to say chicken tender.
Fair.
But it's like a seasoned chicken tender that's thin.
Oh, I love a thin piece of meat.
Yeah.
So to speak.
It's extra tender.
Deuce Bigelow, yo.
But yeah, it was good. It was good. You know, music, chills, eats, you know, relax. No big deal. Friday, I took, the Irish guys came in, so I took, Cody and the Irishman and Calum to Baltimore. I took them to Fells Point, walked around there, went to Soundgarden. I hadn't been there in forever. It's like a famous record shop.
Did you feel like you might have been outshined while you were there?
Yeah. Okay. Well, like it was a Black Hole Sun kind of weekend.
Yeah. Well, just be careful when you're leaving because there's that rusty cage you can get.
That's true. And the only good thing about the Black Hole Sun is I didn't want to be outshined while I was there. So
as long as you didn't leave feeling hungry, you're fine. Yeah. I know you don't mind stealing bread. So.
I steal bread, but I also steal. You know, Joe had a whole bunch of spoons stolen. He's now the spoon man. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but all 3 people understood all those references,
and I think that's as far as I can go.
Me too. Every now and then we do this.
Yes, I love it. I fucking love it.
We did it with the Constructicons last week.
We almost left when we did it with Aquaman.
We did it with Gwen Stefani once.
Yes.
Oh man,
no doubt.
So holler back if you want to hear more about that.
So, at any rate, I took them to Fells Point, then took them to the harbor, took them to Federal Hill, you know, and all that. Walked around a good bit.
I got a review of that. Caleb and Gort came by Sunday evening, and he was telling me, was like, tell me what that was like. He's like, we didn't mess around at all. He's like, I think Bobby had a time frame and we had to hit it, but I saw lots of stuff. And Bobby's like, look over there.
Tour guide and also the fun schedule.
Yeah. Usually what I did,
Robert D is not exaggerating. People,
I've lived here 5 years and I've never gotten that tour, but it sounds horrifying at this point.
What I usually do is I'm like, all right, and then there's this. Take it all in. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know when you're ready to roll.
And 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. And I just sit there, and then usually they're like, "All right, I think I'm good. Okay, let's go." So then we went to Chick-fil-A for lunch, obviously.
Yes.
With Cody. And then we went to.
Oh yeah, we gave Cody Chick-fil-A when we went to eat pizza.
Yep.
Because he doesn't eat pizza.
Yep. And then we went to Lexington Market, which is like a famous market in Baltimore that can be a little rough around the edges because it's like right on the borderline. But I think that was an interesting cultural experience for the lads. And then I'll finish up my Friday, and then I'll pass it to you, Chris. We pretty much just came back here, prepped for another dinner. We had tacos, very informal. By the time we got here, Troy was already here, and you know, people hung out, had tacos. You know, mellow, chill, cool once again, and but it was a pretty decent crowd of folks, and then that was it for.
That's right. Phil was there. Like, I don't know why we stopped. Me and Chris stopped by Friday for a minute.
Yeah. So playlist wise, Thursday was sort of 2020, 2021, and 2022 music. Friday was drill night, and then Saturday was like a blend of hip hop, R&B, and rock music from like 93 till now.
That's perfect.
I honestly didn't get to hear much music, but what I did hear was nice chill vibes.
Yeah.
Robert D got here Friday. That's why I came over.
Yes, he got here Friday and started drinking this like $400 whiskey,
Applejack stuff,
pretty much immediately.
I missed out on that.
Go ahead, Chris.
So let's see. You guys were over Thursday, Friday. Let's see. I had people. I think Brink came in at like 11, 12 maybe. Dom was there shortly thereafter. I got a free box opening and installation of my Razor Crest. Brink. I don't know what's wrong with me. I buy this shit and I'm like, I'm gonna open it, but I don't. So I'm like, Brian, come play with my toys for me. That thing is fucking massive. I mean, it's that Razor Crest. Like I had a spot that I thought it was gonna fit, which is the top of that lower black case, like where I had those vehicles.
I'd like to review that if I could.
Yeah, it's fine. We can definitely do that.
I'll even come over.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fucking impressive. It's 30 inches long.
Is it chromed out?
No, it's not chrome, but it is. It has a nice paint job on it. Adam Savage and Norm from Tested, both of them on Tested, they actually did a video of them customizing and like weathering their.
Nice.
I think I'm gonna watch it just to see, but yeah, it's a really cool piece. It doesn't really fit in the space the way I wanted it to. There's a lot of negative space above it now.
That so has just hanging off a string from the ceiling.
That has
many people told me really to do that.
Yeah, dude.
We're here for ages.
No, so those guys get there, and then we have the New York car and the New Jersey car roll up. So we got Dust and Vinny, and then Dom came. I said, and we got Dave and Jose and EE Prime. Eric came through. Eric Burgess came through. Kelly made barbecue. And, I'm sure Lord's like, how much food do I make? And I said, make this much. She does this crock pot pulled pork. It's great. And we literally like, no more meat could have fit in this thing. It was like, are we going to get the lid on? Is this going to boil over? Fucking fantastic. Everybody liked it. And it was all gone. There was nothing left. It's like, it was perfect. We just fucking had a great time, man. Hanging out outside. Ricky and Kara came by and they hung out for a while. Fucking fantastic time.
They stayed there like the whole night because when they showed back up here, we were wrapping up. We did a podcast. Let me tell you something. It's on Patreon. It's at the $10 level because it fucking has to be. But that shit is some of the most interesting conversation we got. I'm not going to name names, but we got into some people's psychedelic experiences from people that you wouldn't expect. I'm gonna list a random list of things. Okay. Irishman, Lucky Charms, 20-foot clowns.
I'm on board so far.
Baby mothers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm going to leave it right there.
There's the pitch, Joe. Let's go write the movie.
It's if for those that are on there or looking for it, it's called Opening Ceremonies, and it is nice. It's worth a listen. It's worth a listen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's. We had I'm trying to think how many air mattresses set up in the base. So I had upstairs on the couch was Mike. Oh, and Mike Wells was there. Can't forget about Mike. Mike came. We had something interesting happen. So Kelly and I have been wanting to do some home renovations, and the realm.
Turns out you're in luck.
That's right. We had some guys. No, seriously. Anybody that's been to my house, we have get the flex ready. We have a granite countertop, and then there's a bar that's attached to our staircase, which makes no sense unless you've seen it, and if you have, it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect.
I don't know what to call that thing, that island that we all lean on. It's the leaning island. So there's a bar there, and then there's this. I don't know how long is that? 10 feet long. 10 feet by maybe 18 inch.
It really is like the hangout spot.
It is, right? Everybody loves hanging out there because you can eat and drink, and it's the right height. And I don't feel like it doesn't hurt my back to stand there, so that's why. Anyways, there's this granite countertop. I'll be honest with you, it ends up kind of just collecting junk for us most of the time. People throw their keys and shit on it or whatever. But we obviously cleaned it off because people were eating there, listen. I'm not going to mince words. Our house was a flip house. It's got some flip house tendencies.
And like fucking crawl space in the basement.
Well, what's funny, Joe, is we had to ask them to put that, because when we bought the house, when we were signing the stuff, there was no access to either one of those
crazy
panels. We're like, you got to give us some sort of. Anyways, so long story short, this giant granite piece comes off of the fucking wall. And so it's Dave, it's Energon Addict, Gort, and Vinny basically catch this thing. I'm sitting like, you know, I sit opposite I had to go all the way around the table. I'm like, what the fuck? Take it down, put it in the garage. Turns out these morons had put that up there with 5-pound anchors, not in studs.
Oh my God.
Homemade wooden brackets. And I'm like, honestly, it sucked that happened, but it would have been a lot worse if like your kids had been sitting there eating and it had
been crushed by that shit.
Or like, think about if it had just landed on somebody's foot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, that would have been that's it.
Even if it didn't land on somebody's foot and it just landed on your floors.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know, like the amount of could-haves that, you know.
That's the best possible thing that happened.
So given the baddest thing.
Yeah.
So the Crashbox maintenance department was on it. And Mike Wells was there. Mike's a you know, he does construction for a living. And he walked over and looked at one of the things. He's like, yeah, that's not in a stud. What's funny is my wife, the handy person at my house, she ordered new brackets. Each bracket weighs 15 pounds, and they're rated to hold 450 pounds. And I know 2 people can carry that slab, so it's not. I don't know how much it weighs, but it's remounted with like some crazy ass adhesive, and it's good to go. So thanks, Realm, for that.
Yeah.
That was sad. Saturday we had there was a curtain rod that just there was a piece of sheetrock that really needed to come out about 3 inches around. So the curtain rod did the job.
Yikes.
Not sure how that one happened. I think somebody probably stepped on the curtain, didn't realize it.
Well, I'll tell you, there's something that happened at my house that I'm not quite sure how it happened either. My thermostat got turned down to 59 degrees.
Oh my God.
That's like dangerous for your equipment.
Which I understand, given how hot that somebody would have been trying to be funny about it, but that shit could have gone way left.
Yeah,
and that was like so. If you were responsible for it, anyone out there, I would appreciate a little bit of accountability on your end.
Need accountability, buddy.
That was me. My bad. Won't happen again, and all is forgiven and forgotten. I also had something else terrible happen. And I'm not sure. Oh, so if anyone looks up on this Wonder Woman shelf, you'll notice a Wonder Woman, and in her left hand, she's holding a hammer. She's kind of like a World War I, World War II styled Wonder Woman. She's sitting right at the very front.
I recognize that style of tool.
And she's holding a hammer. If you continue to look around my room, including the basement, the main room out there, there's all sorts of characters now holding all sorts of tools. Hammers, drills, shovels, spackle knives, crescent wrenches, et cetera, which is Robert having a commentary about me using a single pair of needle nose pliers on one of his figures just to move one panel forward. Not to grip, just to push something gently. So I have now paid the cost for my lack of vision.
It sounds like it's the gift that keeps on giving, Bob.
It's going to be a long time before you figure everything out.
Well, the cool thing is
they're everywhere. And I'll tell you what else is needle nose pliers are now everywhere.
So I'll tell you, Bobby, the back end of this is, look, I'm definitely interested in these tools. And if there's needle nose pliers, Lord knows I probably have a dozen of them, and it's like tape measures, Joe.
Yes. You could always use more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're everywhere.
Well, all things considered, that's probably, hey, at least it wasn't like a porg pop or anything.
Yeah. Right? Saturday was Skullfest, started at noon. And it was, and then just, we can just get into that. Like, I'll tell you, like, it was probably the most chill Skullfest ever. It was, I think, probably the most emotional Skullfest ever. Like, there was, like, every time I turned around, it was people hugging or, arms around each other. I think motherfuckers just missed each other.
Dude, I'm just going to say this real quick. And I think the pandemic did some fucking damage to people's psyches. And I think us not being able to get together like we had every 6 months or whatever has really made it challenging for some people to get back on the horse, so to speak, to be around. And it was an emotional thing seeing people, and it was
It was very good, and I really this time we did a little shoot for the music video, and we had a roundtable discussion, which will be a sit down Saturday this week. But it was I really did this time, even though I did grill. I got a lot drilled. I drilled.
What else do you want from it?
Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with a lot of different people. Like just as an example, like early on, Dave and I were pretty much down here in the basement because for whatever reason, people didn't come down here for like the first 2 hours.
Shy?
They were all in the kitchen where it was hot as hell. And I was like, I'm going downstairs. And Dave and I sat down here for like an hour and a half, just the two of us, just catching up, talking about life, talking about shit, trials, tribulations, etc. And I really, I valued that. But I got a lot of those little moments with a lot of people, which was cool. I didn't feel like I got really, obviously I couldn't get everybody, but I didn't feel like I got cut short.
Right.
I got to say this, Joe, I don't want to get into a debate, but I just want to say this as objectively. Mm-hmm. I know you don't like the 2022. Joe does not like crowds. That is the happiest I have seen you in years.
I will agree.
It is dude, you were glowing.
I was
both days, Friday and Saturday.
I stayed till midnight Saturday.
Yeah, you were glowing. Like you look like the fucking. I know you're into anime and into that.
Really?
But you were into American cartoons on Saturday because you looked like the Cheshire Cat with a smile from ear to ear. It was heartwarming to see. And it was nice to see everybody else, of course, Robert and, just a complete lunatic. Do you have anything?
Saturday, I don't know what time we left here. I had a great time, man. It was, walk in, we got the freaking foods ready, and shout out to Laura for killing it as usual. And everybody else mainly Laura, but everybody else that brought some stuff. There was some really good stuff I got to eat, and then we did the pod down here, where we did the round table, and then it reminded me this time of going to a convention, like, all right, at 2:00 we got this and got a 15-minute break, go to the bathroom, blah blah blah, and then we did the video and we came back, and I came down here because I had said I wanted to sit in on the podding for a couple hours. Mm-hmm. Man, I had some interesting conversations. I didn't get super deep with people, but I got to interview a bunch of wives and girlfriends.
Yep.
Thanks, Eric B, for that. It was like me sitting here with my shirt unbuttoned because I was burning up and
being sexy.
Hey, listen,
when in Rome,
listen. Finally, KJ Sparkles is on film, on tape. My wife.
Yeah.
Nice. You know what question I asked her? Tell me how my collection ruined your life.
So I'm gonna give each one of those a listen, and then I'll be trickling them out on Patreon as it goes.
Yeah, I know Eric sat down here and did some too, so
I know
it was fun to do that.
And the only reason why I'm giving it is just to protect the guilty.
Listen, it's definitely worth.
People get fucked up, and they don't realize how many people are going to listen to that shit. So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't have any. There were some takeaways. Well, I'll say that to the end. But we wrapped up probably between 1:30 and 2:30. We had this is funny. So we had this my neighbor, right? This kid, he's a 16-year-old kid,
nice kid, man,
nice kid, and he got picked on pretty heavy for being involved in nerd shit. And ever since then, his mother had kind of reached out to me and to take him under my wing a bit, and I have, and he said he was going to come by for an hour, or he stayed until 1:30.
Dude, he stayed till after I left.
Yeah.
And I think he felt cool, and that shit's important, it's a little confident. Yeah,
somewhere.
I got to. He came down and hopped on the mic and super enthusiastic. Yeah, it was fun.
So at the end of the night though, he started freaking out because he was supposed to be home by midnight. Have you heard this?
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a good story.
He starts freaking out and he's like, okay, here's the plan. I'm going to go up. I know where there's some public bathrooms. I'm going to go up. I'm going to sleep on the public bathroom floor.
What?
And then I'm going to race home in the morning at 6:00 so I could be there right around the time they're getting up. And I'll just act like I'm doing something outside. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I've just been up for a while. And then I'm going to go in the house. So he starts coming up with all these elaborate schemes. somebody, I think it was Paul C, who my heart breaks for.
Oh man,
his fucking flight got delayed a ton of times. He got
didn't
here
get to see Butters. That was the devastating part.
And almost like when I woke up Sunday morning, I came downstairs. It's just him and my wife. Paul's been there for maybe like a handful of hours, not asleep.
Yeah.
Him and my wife cleaning up.
Yeah. Like
viciously, avidly cleaning up. And I'm like, Paul, if you don't stop and enjoy yourself for 2 minutes, I'm going to kick you out. So backtrack. I think it was Paul C that came out to me and he was like, hey, there's a young kid in there and he's talking crazy. And I was like, say less. So I went in and I was like, come on, Will, it's time to go. And so I walk him home and he's like, all right, he looks at the front door. He's like, all right, front door's closed. All right, let's go to the garage. Garage is probably open. So we get to the garage. He's like, oh, garage door's closed. He said, man, if I open the garage door, it's going to wake people up. But I know I could go up to the school and just sleep at the school.
What?
And I was like, Will, listen to me very closely. You are going in that front door or you are going in that garage. Make a decision. And he's like, I'll try the garage. So he did the garage, got in, and then he texted me later and he was like, my parents didn't wake up. I was like, good.
Nice.
Good night.
Well, we wandered away in mass somewhat. Let's see. I guess we probably left here. My goal was to leave around 10. I think we left around 11:30.
Yeah.
And we were basically out back at my house for an hour. I don't know. I think I might have gone to bed at 2:30.
Yeah, that's about when I went.
It was a great time. Jeremy B showed up late. He got here and he stayed at my place.
I was really glad he could make it.
Yeah, I was too.
I think Dante was supposed to leave at 9:32 and he was here till at least midnight.
Yeah, so Dante gave me his keys early on.
Well, I was going to ask that because Dante potted for a minute too.
Yeah,
we got full flavor Dante.
Yeah, so he gave me his keys early on, and then he checked back in with me at the end of the night, and he's like, I need my keys, and I was like, do you deserve your keys? And he was like, yeah, I'm good.
So we picked up Jeremy B and Shannon JD also for sleepovers. So we had 7 air mattresses.
Those cookies.
Yeah, those cookies are really good.
A bucket of cookies.
Chan brought a ton of shit.
Yeah, she did.
I did have some disappointments. I'm not going to get into it now, but like there were some things that happened throughout the course where I was like, oh, man, like here's one I'll just throw out, like shoulders didn't make it.
Yeah,
and it was,
you know what?
It was really,
there were a few people I missed.
It was a really heartbreaking thing for me, especially I'm like, dude, like this dude came from Ireland. You live like down the street. Like, come on, man.
I miss him. I miss the other Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler
came. Yeah, just.
And I mean, I'll be honest. I had no idea Tyler F was coming.
Yeah,
it was good to see him.
He RSVP'd late.
But, he has a horse jail, right? Y'all know that, right?
I mean, he was happy to be here. I think he has been too isolated for last year.
It was great to talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Peanut's a good dude.
I was excited to see him. I hadn't seen him in so long. It's great to see everybody. There's so many people. I'm not going to say catch everybody.
Justin.
Yep. Justin broke my balls all day about apparently I didn't invite Adele. Like, just by accident.
Like that's
in my head. Like if I invite you, your wife's welcome.
Plus one, yeah.
It's like your kids are welcome. It's but he was like, hey, Adele wants to know if there's anything that she did. Like he kept breaking my balls about it.
Oh man, that sucks because like she make those Oreo fucking cupcake things.
She makes those podcast appearances.
Yes. The surprise. Is that why she didn't come?
She's a pistol. But Sunday big breakfast, all sorts of like egg omelets and 9 pounds of bacon.
I actually got bacon.
I came over for breakfast.
Bacon and French toast.
I came over before work because I want to see everyone when they leave. Like I woke up early, showed around 8.
Yeah.
Showed up to 9, tried to go to work.
Yeah, and then we had French toast, pancakes.
Breakfast was ready right when I left.
Oh, what a bummer.
We didn't roll into like 11. I wasn't expecting to have any food.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting food. I didn't come over.
There wasn't much left, unfortunately.
Well, I got bacon, Bobby.
That counts. That counts.
And French toast.
And you got mac and cheese. And crab dip.
Yeah.
I got crab dip, and I told Laura, I was like, I've lived in Maryland for 5 years now, and this is my favorite crab-related food. She's like, it's called this is 3/4 cheese. Like, well, that's fair. Yeah, and I had to scrape the edges to get mac and cheese because it's funny. I was down here and Mason comes in and he's trying to get my attention.
I didn't know he was here. I didn't even see him. I didn't see any of your kids. I know your kids were here.
Yeah. He came on his own accord, which impressed me too.
Yeah, he did. He wanted to come hang out and see it. He sat at the table and kind of bullshitted with
the anime crew.
The anime crew.
It was dark in there. Y'all turned off the lights.
That's up to them. The dining room. I think people were trying to keep the energy down, like just from the light, the warmth of the light.
Okay. And real quick, I'm going to call him. I'm going to call him Anime Adam.
Yeah.
So historically, he has told me about his wardrobe, his ensemble, and I had on quite an ensemble this weekend.
Yes.
And I said, he commented and said, what's the missing piece? He's like, you need a fur cape. And I said, yes. I said, all right.
He's not wrong.
I said, who's your furrier? And he gave me the name of a place, but unfortunately, Adam, I have to report they went out of business. Oh. So you're going to have to find us a new furrier. Can you make an armadillo cape? No, it's got probably lots of
If you can source the material, Chris, I can make it for you.
Mm-hmm. I can do that. Let me call my friends in Texas.
So then, finished. And then even Sunday, we had like a little bit of hour down in the basement. Everybody kind of like just decompressed and, talked a bit. And then it was funny because the Irishmen were really interested in American politics, because like all the hubbub of it over the past probably 8 to 12 years, they were really interested, and they were like, it seems like everybody's out of control, and I was like, well, look, let me give you, and not to get political here, but I was like, well, let me give you a great example, right? This Florida shit with this bill, right? The Don't Say Gay bill.
Uh-huh.
I was like, this bill comes up, and you can read it. It's very short. It's in my opinion, it's probably something based off of a few isolated incidents that they turned into something huge. But as soon as it comes out, the extreme left markets it as the Don't Say Gay bill, right? But it actually doesn't say that anywhere in there. And the extreme right markets it as the groomers. And I was like, that's what American politics has become. Everyone's looking for a way to market their position and brand it, as opposed to actually talking about the specific.
Right.
And you took them to Baltimore and DC, and everything's fine. Everyone's walking around having a good old time.
Just fine.
Well, I think I had a similar conversation with Cody, and it was I guess everybody thinks we're all running around with 6-shooters on our heads. And Cody's like, no, I didn't see a single gun the whole time.
Well, except in my house.
Well, okay, maybe that.
Oh yeah, wait. It's because of Paul C that there was a tour at my house, because he hit me up.
That's right.
You did a week ago. He's like, "Can I come see your house?" Of course, you can come see my fucking house.
Yeah.
So I was
how many people actually came over?
I don't know. It's right. I thought it was going to be a few, because I was going to say Paul C, and I told Bobby I'm going to take whoever wants to come, and then he loudspeaker that shit, and then it was probably 15.
What did they break in your house?
Nothing. I think somebody spilled something and didn't say anything, but that's fine. It's something sticky on the stairs.
But it was a lot of
people love the gym and a
lot of people have been talking to me about Joe's house. It's nothing but weights and guns and statues.
Yes, that sums me up. Like you said, the boys wanted to look for a gym to lift.
I think they said weights and weapons and statues.
Yeah, the boys wanted to look for a place to lift. They could come to my house,
because they were like, there was a dumbbell. That was what they said. The Irishmen. They were like, there's a dumbbell and it's right next to a katana sword. I was like, what the fuck?
My house is more American than Bobby's house.
Yeah, it's true. So then Sunday, I know you guys took a journey. We Cody and Laura went to go do their shopping, their Bed Bath and Beyond,
the fancy candle store,
and then Cody, Laura, and I did our international drill show for Patreon, which is we've been looking forward to forever. And then ordered pizza on Sunday. You guys came over.
Yeah, which for a bit, because I want to say bye to Cody and take some sweets off your hand, which is a bad idea, because I ate so much.
Yeah, me too.
I ate I'm
still
going
my stomach.
that half a cheesecake. I ate half a fucking cheesecake yesterday, and all those little dude. This whole week I got to fucking
tighten up.
Chill. But wildest thing is with the Cody, the trip we took. After we dropped you off, we went to the car store. He loved it. The Tournament City games, the
one in Frederick.
Yeah, it's a great store. He bought a few $100 worth of cards, I think. And
they had a copy of Gyromite there.
They did. And then we went to Target, to pick up shit. But he picked up the wildest shit to go to fly across the pond to go to a Target to buy dryer sheets.
What?
He bought dryer sheets
to take home.
Body scrubs, which I can understand. Starbucks K-Cups, right? To take home. Nerds, the candy, which I guess if you can't get over it, but there's some like, how much luggage space you got, man? When I go overseas,
he was saying he was going to have to pay the over
$100, I think.
You could have just ordered dryer sheets and have them like mailed to you. Yeah, and it would have been cheaper.
Yeah,
but it was a wild list of things he got from Target. I was just questioning myself. And
you guys went to this attorney?
Yeah, so I kind of planned the grand escape here, and I mentioned it on the air here before that there's this really awesome like vintage and modern, to be fair, toy store in the Westminster Mall, which is. We probably doubled the occupancy when we all rolled in. To be fair, there's some party centers there that I've never seen anybody there during the week, but they were having birthday parties. But I think anybody who went will tell you it's an amazing experience. I mean, I think Dust said it reminds me of an old KB Toys, the way it's said, because it's actually on wire show, but it's so organized. Like,
it's separate from like the gaming like 40.
Yeah, it's in the old FYE building.
Okay, yeah,
I saw the picture,
and the gaming store is in the old arcade.
Yeah, I know. Like the Irish guys were immediately in heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I could see their short shorts were not doing a great job. Which I had a conversation with them. This is interesting. So I was standing there talking and just kind of busting balls about the short shorts. And I got on some knee bangers, and here comes Caleb wearing long shorts, and he's like, "Well, it's because if we had wore short shorts when we were in school, we would have gotten called
all sorts of things related
to British cigarettes, things of that nature."
Our shorts went past the knees when I was in high school.
Well, and he said everybody's wearing those, and I said, I think here's the reason why people my age wear long shorts is it's all based on fucking basketball, because Michael Jordan. You know, everybody's wearing those John Stockton ones with your balls hanging out, and then Jordan's like, we're going to wear longer shorts, and then they got ridiculously long for a while. Like, how are you playing sports wearing these fucking culottes?
Well, you had a revelation about our difference in aesthetics for sneakers as well that I thought was interesting.
It is. So you know, Tyler L. and Bobby and I have a little sneaker chat. It's, you know, because we're the three that I guess are into sneakers more than others, and we talk a lot. And Bobby has some interesting tastes in sneakers that we don't necessarily. Although your drip was fantastic this weekend.
Oh, thank you, sir.
And I think I figured it out. Like, my love for sneakers, Tyler's love for sneakers, probably like, I know Eric B's probably love for sneakers because he's real big into sneakers too, is sports. Like, I bought Jordans because Michael Jordan was wearing them, right? I bought Bo Jacksons because Bo Jackson was wearing them. Bobby's is coming from a fashion standpoint. That's why he's like, those fucking look like clown shoes. And they do, but they have nostalgia to it. Right. Like a pair of bread ones or whatever. It's like, Bobby's like, those fucking horror. I mean, you understand what it is and how important it is to the culture.
100%.
But you're not about that life to wear a pair of
what's interesting
red shoes.
Well, I only started speaking up about it when
y'all started
busting mine, and because I was like, I'm new to it. I'm just like, oh man, that's cool. I was like, that's not for me, but you know, I recognize what it is and what it means.
Yeah.
So I started showing like, here's something I'm kind of into, and then they started giving me a hard time, and I was like, oh okay, well then let me tell you what you fucking. Well, the thing is, you dress like fucking Ronald McDonald.
You're true. and I'll just and I was busting Cody's balls yesterday. I get the designer sneakers. I'm gonna be honest, you motherfuckers got me looking. They ain't got shit in the 14 online. But like the pair Cody has, and he told us like there's this very convoluted story about how those came in his possession. But I pulled up like there's a pair of British Knights that look like the color blocking in the pad. It's like the lace holes.
Yeah,
it's like an homage to this shoe. And it was
there's a pair of Amiri sneakers that I want that are 100% based off of Dunk.
Yeah,
100%.
Did Virgil? Did he just like your Louis sneakers? Yeah. Okay, so I guess he did a lot of homage stuff. Of course. I'm very nervous about this Air Force One thing. I'm afraid I'm going to spend more money than I need to on the Air Force One Louis.
Yeah.
But I digress. Toy store, shorts, basketball. Yeah. I know that Andy picked up the NECA Turtles. He was looking at them, and I'm like, you're not going to get a better set than the NECA, like the small versions of those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just the fact that they had all that there, I think they obviously there's nothing like that for them in their part of the world. So that was an awesome experience. It's such a well put together place, man. It really is.
And then Monday, I took the Irishman to DC. to see all the sites like we did Washington Monument, World War II Memorial, Lincoln Memorial, Vietnam Memorial, White House, Capitol. And then I took them to get pizza because they wanted like a real American slice of pizza. So there's this place in DC called We the Pizza, and it's very New York style-esque. It has a little twist on it, but it's a good experience for American pizza.
How is it compared to Pizza John's?
So it's
the same style, right?
Yeah, but I would say it's more traditional New York style, where like the Pizza John's was more like, I don't know, it was something different. Like the crust is a little thicker, like this is a very thin crust, but like crunchy and that kind of
crispy.
Yeah. And then came back here and I was pretty much exhausted. We watched a little TV, had some ice cream and went the fuck to bed. And then now we're back at it with Nerd Race.
Yeah, I had
I worked like fucking 9-hour shift yesterday. Got home at fucking 8:30.
Gord left his car at my house because he ended up running around some more with the guys after we got done in Eternia. I don't like B-dubs, Gord. Just remember that. So don't ever invite me to go to B-dubs. They went to B-dubs
I'm getting the vibe.
It was fine. I was just like, damn it, I know they're going to eat. I to go with them. But anyways, so Gort and Caleb came back to my house right as that was pretty brutal, fun to look at thunderstorm Sunday night.
Caleb, I think, was one that got a private tour of my house.
Okay, fancy.
Because I think he missed the call.
Oh, okay.
And then he was like, shit. Let me take you over.
Caleb is one of the nicest human beings on the face of the planet.
Yep.
Like him and Paul C.
Yes.
They're just cut from a different cloth.
Hey, and I normally get my ride to Skullfest from Paul. Unfortunately, travel arranged, so I got my ride from Caleb. So where everything worked out. But those guys stayed over till I think at 11. I'm like, all right, guys, you gotta go. And then I had the pleasure of spending most of the day with the King yesterday. And we did a little running around, and Kelly cooked for him. I want to tell you what
chicken tenders,
yes. Which she gave him his choice of chicken nuggets or chicken. It was just like feed, and he wanted some pasta, so she made him like some angel hair pasta, and then he wanted some peas, so she mixed it. Like, what did you make him, like chicken carbonara, or that's kind of what it was? But he ate.
Sounds like a kid's meal.
What's funny is
exactly what it was:
pasta, chicken nuggets, and peas.
What's funny is half the shit that he eats, I would never go near. Like when we talk about it, he's like, like a traditional British dinner, like roast and
so we talked about that on the way, and I asked him, I said, send me a list, and he said he did. I haven't had a chance to think
like meat, potatoes, and some kind of vegetables. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
He was like, what do you have for Christmas dinner? I was like, it's normally a ham for. When do you have turkey? I said, it's Thanksgiving. What would you have with it? He's like, would you have he called it what he called mashed potatoes, something wild.
Mash.
Yeah, and then
Veg.
I'm like, we'll have some, stuffing, dressing, and I had to explain what that was, and he's like, it sounds like a roasted. Dude, it's fine. I'll eat all of it. He was talking about some they take like pancake batter and they put it in a muffin tin and it like curls out, and then they fill it with ice cream.
Stuff. Yeah, I know. It's really good.
I'm down. Let's go.
So,
fun stuff.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to cut this segment and move it to the back end of the episode.
That's fine. For the recap.
Yeah. I do want to say this to close out.
I want a couple things.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Like, I saw and met a lot of people. I want to apologize preemptively or post-emptively. I'm not going to... I cannot remember everyone's names and faces.
It's hard, dude.
It's like I want to. It's not like... I went to grad school for 4 years. All right, same class, the same people in every single class, 65 people. By the time 4 years and I see them every day, I could not name all 65 people. So I just want to say, like, my effort is there.
Yeah, heart is in the right place.
Yeah, it's not I don't give a fuck about you guys. I can't.
Right.
And if Bobby, everybody send like a picture with a name on the picture to Bobby,
to Joe,
and he will compile it at nerdraceradio@gmail.com.
We'll do flashcards.
Yes, we'll do flashcards. I want to remember you guys.
Well, there's an easier way to do it. I'll tell you when we get offline.
So I want to piggyback on that. I had a supervisor. He wasn't my direct supervisor, but he was basically the CEO of this company, we'll say. And he had a stack of 3x5 cards with every employee's picture on it, with their name,
yes,
something about them, their wife's name, or husband's name, and their kids' names. And whenever he went to a meeting, if he was there like 10 minutes early, he'd just break out the 3x5 cards and go through them. So like when I saw this dude, I may have only seen him like once in my career, right? Like if just because you're like an intern in the government doesn't mean you get to see, Joe Biden,
right?
So like every time I saw him, he would be like, "Hey, Bobby, how you doing? How's Laura and Jana doing?" And it was like, fuck, man. Like, but the morale of our team at that time was just like, it was through the roof, because
it's a great skill
like
for
people
a leader.
Gave a shit.
Yeah, that's a great skill for a leader, and somebody taught him that, and it seems like he did pretty well with it.
Yeah. Like I recognized a lot of faces I couldn't put names to, and then like when people say their name, I recognize the name. Yeah, because we hear them on. I get messages, or
there's still. It's not so much here, obviously, because I'm pretty much handpicking everyone. But like there's plenty of times at cons where I'm like, I know you. I know you. Sometimes I know you. I know your kids. But I just don't know the name.
Yeah, and I feel terrible.
Me too.
They'd be like, oh, I listen to you guys. I hear you talk, and I'm like, fuck.
Like I want to give a shout out to like Moose Crew on Patreon. I've been a big supporter. Helped set up this. Moose Crew.
Blues Clues.
And he was like, when is Skullfest this year? And he was like, I was just wondering if I could buy a ticket. And this and that. Like my heart fucking breaks, because like and little does he know, like he's on my radar. Like I would love to get him out, but it's like, it's just, I can't. I already push things to the limit here with my wife, and she's very accommodating.
Yes, oh my God, she's just frantically working all weekend.
But like I feel bad. There's plenty more people that I want to invite that I just can't. And if people RSVP'd quicker or
I'd not cancel. And last, I wanted to give a shout out to my wife, Krista. She doesn't usually show up to many things. She showed up. I think she enjoyed herself because there are some people she knows, like Eric Burgess and fucking Cody and but yeah, she helped me cope with crowd, and because I was like overwhelmed, especially when I first showed up. But like her being there, like helped keep me grounded and anchored, and like she stuck around because she knew I was like out of spoons and like
out of spoons.
You're not familiar with that?
No.
Go ahead.
You explain.
So basically, it's like emotionally, you have so many spoons every day to scoop your life, And once you're out of spoons, like it's basically what you're saying. I have this much energy to put towards my job today, and this much energy put towards being social today. Yes. And I've already used I'm down to 10%.
Yeah. Understand? Metaphorically.
By the time I came to school, like after work, after seeing my in-laws, I was completely out.
Because I was trying to tell you upstairs when you were saying it. I was like, dude, we had plastic ones. We had plastic. Like they could have just.
Shit! Right. You thought I was talking about
I was like, they're not good forever, but you can get a couple uses. You can run through the dishwasher.
Listen, don't let a restaurant wash them.
Yeah.
But yeah, she stuck around for as long as I stuck around, and that helped me.
Well, that's good. But I'll tell you, man, like, and I don't know about your coping and all that shit. I haven't seen you that happy since the last time you were around a bunch of people.
You don't have to deal with me afterwards when I go home.
But I mean,
I'm just like fucking.
You should get a job in Hollywood.
I'm also like, I don't know, like
it matches. It's like I can take the frame and put it over the last time, and it's like the same smile. It's like it exudes from you, man, and it was good to see.
Yeah, and
it was heartwarming for me.
Yeah, I'm like when in Rome, right? And also like I talk about how I don't care about strangers a lot, but when it comes to people I care about, like I'm a people pleaser. Like, I'm not gonna come over and fucking mope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't.
And I'm gonna try to enjoy my. I try to talk.
You're the happiest person in the room, Joe.
I try to talk to everybody I knew, and I try to enjoy myself. There's no point to not.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I try not to say always and never. Right?
Yeah.
That was probably the last one. There will be other things, but they won't be that. That was probably the last one.
That was a great way to go out, man. I'll be honest. That's the most fun I've had at any of our.
There'll probably be next year a handful of get-togethers, like
much smaller.
Like it'll be like maybe by quarter, like first quarter gathering, second quarter gathering, and it'll be based on like I have like the Patreon crew, and I open it up to a lot of those folks, and then. And then maybe, whatever, like this crew and then that crew. And then, because like.
We need to get back to having our
Yeah, the dinners. Yep. I totally agree.
I think it's KBBQ. I think we're due.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But I know we owe. But now that we actually have places where people can sit, maybe we'll get on that.
So yeah, it was good. It was a good one to end on. There's other things in motion surrounding some of it that like I'm not going to get into here or maybe anywhere. But like, you know, people grow, man. People are growing up in more ways than one.
Yep. Life
becomes more challenging. Life becomes more difficult. Life becomes more complicated. I think this one was really needed because of the unprecedented. It was an unprecedented event, Joey. I'm not sure if you recall.
There was no way to precedent it.
It was, you couldn't precedent it. Not even if you had a precedenter, it would fail in precedent.
Which is kind of like a bread oven, I guess.
I thought it was more like a fucking George Foreman grill.
Yeah. That's a really
all right.
Isn't that something else? It's
that little Skullfest was a blast.
Oh, what a time! So the last thing before we get out of here,
I want to know if anyone fucks during Skullfest.
Like here,
anywhere, your place, his place.
So I have always been curious because there was times where Russ and Anna used to sleep here.
Right.
I've always been curious if they gave it a go.
That's at least just a reach around something. I know something sexy.
I don't think it happened but I know my basement has been appropriated before.
Wow.
But we directed it to happen. So
directed it. Hey, you get a room downstairs.
It was a married couple. Brian Brink ended up sleeping upstairs that night. So it's all good.
For our thought of the week, our thought.
Yeah. Oh God.
This is. I'm going to start if it's on.
Let me see the picture too, so I know who it is.
If it's on like Twitter or something, I'm going to start giving a shout out to their account so people can follow them.
Oh,
as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is Liz Katz at Liz Katz Official. Here's the picture. She's wearing a little black number, and she says, I'd say another 3 months and we'll be back to superhero shape. Here's where we are today. And Phil responds, lady, you look amazing. You could be my heroine and rescue me anytime.
That's good. At least it's not heroin anytime.
And with that,
real quick before we get out of here, Rockbox. The last day to order your Rockbox is the 5th of June. So it's like 2 weeks from when you'll get this. You're not going to be disappointed. We figure you collectors will definitely want to get one of these boxes and use Skullface 5 at checkout to save yourself 5% because that's really all the margin we think we can give away.
There you go. With that, shout out to the rest of the Cool Table as far as I'm concerned. If you listen to this and have a podcast of your own or don't, you're part of the Cool Table as well. Shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team, Dante on Facebook, Phil on Notes and on Twitter. Ricky Ticky Timber on the videos. And Raul on Instagram, who unfortunately we did not see.
Yeah,
he was missed, very much missed. But our thoughts. He's fine, but our thoughts are with him all the same.
Phil's thoughts are with him too.
Yes, Phil's thoughts are all with him in spirit. And with that,
Laugh-A-Labius,
tastiest of taints,
Tie Dick Player.